Welcome back, everyone. Sorry that it's a little bit late. Hopefully, we're all set up. So, thank you for joining us this week as we explore the half-rate hero's adventure through the Forgotten Realms. Previously, our heroes had been charging through the land, experiencing this collision between planes. We had gone and explored the Feywild because children had gone missing. In the Feywild, they had discovered a crystal had been placed. This crystal was feeding off of the Feywild itself, and so they destroyed it. Nice and simple. Last week, our heroes discovered a portal to the Shadowfell had opened up in some unsuspecting young man's fireplace. So, naturally, they create a continual flame. They keep it ready to keep that portal closed, and then they go through it and then close it behind them. So now our heroes are in the Shadowfell with no idea of how they're going to get back to the material plane, but they do know that they can see a crystal, or at least the evidence of a crystal, a shaft of light beaming straight up from a flying citadel floating over them within the Shadowfell. The land is dark, it's cold, there's a constant hum of screams off in the distance. It just messes with people's minds, and we've already seen a couple people struggle with the despair of this dark plane. After meeting a supposed future version of Kale that wasn't really, it was just an illusion, it was all just a mess, and some werewolves, our heroes now find themselves still amidst a bunch of ruins of the Shadowfell. What are you going to do?
Does everybody feel like they're just playing with us?
Wait, they're just... There were werewolves. Then... Not... Where'd they go?
Yeah, does anybody know if there's, like, precedent for physical things just happening, like nightmares in this place?
I don't know if I know that or not.
Would anyone like to roll a history check? Or
I would love to roll a history check right now.
Yeah. Just a general research check. Go ahead and roll.
I rolled a 2 plus, I think I actually have a plus 14, so 16.
Plus 16.
Plus 14, so 16 total.
Oh, plus 14, okay. All right. Yes. What you know about the Shadowfell is just simply that it is very similar to the Feywild in that weird stuff does happen, but for a very different reason. Rather than the Feywild trying to make you the extreme of yourself, whether you're super happy, super angry, whatever, the Feywild tries to eventually numb you down. And it does so using all of the weird stuff that it can possibly come up with.
Okay. So, Mr. Kale, how did it feel meeting your most powerful self?
Powerful? I don't know. I didn't get that impression. I've never thought of myself as powerful or someone who's growing more powerful all the time. It's just kind of a weird way to look at it. Older, supposedly wiser, but then it turns out not so much because it wasn't really me. All in all, to answer your question, I'd say it felt really odd. It was very weird. I didn't like it that much. It was jarring for sure.
I didn't like it either because I didn't know which one to throw at.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have to make any mistakes there because I really would like to not get hit in the face with a hammer. Yeah.
Me too. Should we make it a precedent just not to talk to anyone? Seeing as how everyone we've talked to is just not real?
I don't think everyone that we talk to is not going to be real.
Hmm?
I don't think that everyone we talk to is going to be not there. I think when we would put ourselves at an unnecessary disadvantage if we did that.
Yes, and plus it would look really odd if we just like pretended people weren't there and just turned our backs on them and started talking amongst ourselves. I feel like that'd be kind of rude. Let's not be near this ruin though anymore, because if we touch any more bricks, more ghosts might come out.
Right. Well, we were on our way to that citadel,
Yeah, the thing up there.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and I think Wampum, you were taking the lead here. How much farther do you think we have to travel? How much longer?
Well, if I roll a survival check. For a big 13.
And what does that survival check do?
Are we getting closer to this floating citadel, and how far is it away, approximately?
Okay, all right. So while you're trying to continue following, go ahead and roll a survival check for me.
Let's do it again.
Okay. Cool. All right.
A 16.
Within, you would say maybe 2 hours of walking, you should be able to get right underneath the citadel. It's moving at a slow enough pace that once you get underneath it, you could easily follow it without too much trouble. It's moving at about half the speed you are. So 2 hours.
With my speedy legs, we should be there in about 2 hours.
Great, an astute observation. And so we're trudging through like a ruined version of whatever city were we in?
Everland.
Everland,
Yes.
that's right.
That's what it looks like.
Okay. All right.
All right. So continuing to follow, you'll step over a large walled structure that's broken down in various places, easy to climb through without too much of a problem. To head towards the to follow the citadel. Who is going to be the first person to cross over this wall that surrounds Everland?
I will.
All right. Then Wampum, as you step up and you look over the wall, it looks like a sheer drop, 100-foot drop. You've got a 20-foot gap between you and the floor past, but then a 100-foot drop in front of you.
Oh, that's a long way down there.
How long?
About 100 foot.
But there's a bottom?
Maybe.
It's hard to see because of the misty forms that just swirl within the crack.
All right. Hold on a second. I will take a look.
Okay.
And
Perception check, please.
well, I was gonna cast Arcane Eye and have it go down there.
Okay, fair enough. So you cast Arcane Eye.
Mm-hmm.
It goes and looks. There's no hole. It's just a 2-foot drop on the other side of the wall. Everything's clear. Just like normal.
Wampum, are you sure that you see a huge sheer drop?
It looks like it is. So ye be saying that I can just jump?
Maybe don't do that. Taya, you said it was a 2-foot drop.
Looks like just a 2-foot drop, just dropping down the wall, and then you've got the floor beyond, the dark, broken, dry stone.
Okay.
I'll do it.
That might be a good idea, actually. Yes, you can fly. Just go for it. Because I don't see the same thing. It just looks like a low wall with the floor's right there. So
Allie is gonna kind of climb up right next to him. She's gonna poke Kale and Wampum real quick, like just a tap on the shoulder. as she opens up her bag and pulls out the 50 yards rope, ties it around her midsection, and then she's just going to take a step right off the wall.
Okay.
And
You step off the wall and you land on the floor. The moment she steps on the floor, Wampum, your eyes clear, the fog passes over, and you see the floor.
Okay, this place is playing games now.
Yeah, that's really weird.
So you all climb over the wall. There's no danger.
Mm-hmm.
Is Allie going to keep wearing her leash?
yeah, she's going to hand it to Nos and like tie it around Nos's wrist, maybe, or offer it to
Actually,
Nos.
should I
Um,
suggest, just for at least the next hour, if I could just hold on to one end of that rope, and then I can continue to look through the arcane eye while I'm being led by someone else.
oh, sure.
Great.
That's a good idea. Now, how far away can your arcane eye reach?
It can go infinite. It's got infinite range.
And
But I can only move 30 feet at a time, and I can only see with normal and dark vision out to 30 feet.
fair enough. Then it's not going to be. It's not like you could send it up to the Citadel.
I mean, it would take a really long time.
Yeah, it would take a long time. All right.
Yeah.
So you guys start making your way across, and you will, after a bit of time, make it across what looks like just a dreary, blank landscape. There is this fog that seems to just constantly surround you, trying desperately to claw its way in towards you, but it doesn't come within 30 feet of any of you. As you begin to progress, you'll watch as the fog begins to spiral around the area just immediately below the Citadel. So this huge rock structure that looks like someone literally picked up a city, the foundations and everything, lifted it up into the sky, and it's only, best bet, about 1,000 feet above you as you're getting closer to him. Seems almost like the fog itself, the mist, is holding it up like a giant hand that's constantly in motion, moving this city across the land. How do you want to proceed?
How long has it been since we left Everland?
As I said, it's about 2 hours to catch up to the location. So
Right. Okay. So it was at that point. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have arcane eye anymore. That's good.
So I can cast fly on 2 folks at a time. Meaning we could send 3 up with Allie, or 2 up with Allie, 3 total, and then 2 come up after. Unless anyone else.
Do that.
I mean, if can I get a sense of how high this is, and could we make it up there within an hour?
Hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. About 1,000 feet.
I'm sorry, within 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We can get up there in 10 minutes.
fly gives everyone a fly speed of what, 30 feet? I believe.
60 feet.
60 feet. Okay. So considering every 6 seconds you could dash and potentially go 120 feet, crossing 1,000 foot is going to be less than a minute.
Semantics question, I guess. Would Lafcadio's feline agility affect his flight speed as well if he used it?
What is the wording of feline agility?
It's a good question.
Because if it says your speed doubles, then whatever your speed is. So your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of the turn. It does technically say in combat. So as long as one of your party members has a dagger behind your back, you should be able to fly super quick.
Okay, I was just curious.
So
But
the
then
only
once he's used it again, he can't use it again until he doesn't move.
Right.
I can tie you to me hammer.
I don't think that'd be helpful. The only caveat of this fly thing is I would have to be in the second group because I would cast fly on the folks who are going up first, and then I'd cast it on the other two who stayed behind. And then I'd be very depleted of my spell casting abilities, and I currently have no other healing at the moment. Even without any of this fly business, I can't heal anyone at the moment.
I say me, Kale, and Allie go up first, and
I disagree.
and then you and Nos follow.
I disagree. I think that Wampum, you should come up with Lafcadio because I am quieter than you. And
Is
so
Kale
we can
still
stay
holding
up
the rope?
there and stay quiet while you guys catch up.
Kale, are you still holding the rope?
No, I mean, I would have, if you wanted me to, I guess, after the first
Okay,
hour.
so if he wasn't holding it at this point, Allie is gonna kind of start zoning off and like start wandering and pacing around, and like circles around the group, slowly getting a little bit more away from them each time, kind of muttering to herself.
I'll idly grab her tail gently as she passes me like the 6th time around. I'm still talking to everybody else.
Ah! Oh! Oh!
What are you doing?
Walking.
Where? Why? Why didn't you want to participate in the group huddle here?
Well, I just assumed my job would be to fly, and I would let you guys take care of the rest. She just kind of like pokes Nos, pinches herself, then kind of her eyes kind of like glaze over, and then she kind of zones out again.
I don't like that. I don't like that she's doing that.
Allie, I forgot to compliment you on our interaction with fake future Kale. The quick thinking by throwing the item in his backpack, that was quite ingenious, and I think that it really helped us clarify that nothing was as it seemed. So good on you for that.
Yeah, that was a little smart.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Is that a trick you picked up in the Underdark, or does this type of thing happen really often?
A few times,
Really?
I think.
All right, well let's stop this talking stuff and let's get going.
All right. Well, who wants to go up first?
Definitely me.
I'll stay with you, Lithcardio. Me and you's a buds.
All right. Well, in that case, I will grab my rod, recharge a spell slot, and cast Fly on Kale and Nos.
Okay. So the two of you, as he finishes the spell, immediately grow skeletal wings.
Ooh.
Cool.
I don't like that. I don't like a lot of things going on right now.
I don't normally do that. I don't know why that happened.
This isn't the sort of thing that Banyan usually.
No, that's not
does.
his coterie.
The skeletal wings, are they more like ethereal or physical wings?
They look absolutely physical. You can pass a hand through them, and it'll look almost like your hand passes through mist for a moment, then it resolidifies into what looks like just bone sticking out of each of their backs.
Okay.
It's definitely not natural because there's no like sinews or tendons holding the bones together. They're just magically placed out like that.
Well, Nos, let's see if you can fly.
You got it. You ready, Kel?
Yep.
Let's look
Sure.
for a good place as we approach to do this. Nowhere out in the open if we can avoid it.
Sure. Yeah. Good idea.
Then the two of you take off, soaring into the sky, the wings flapping furiously behind you, kicking up some of the dust on the floor, spreading it out. You fly up the 1,000 feet. It takes you less than a minute to get up there. Once you're up there, you can now see the citadel proper. The citadel itself has a single spired tower right in the center. And that is where the shaft of light seems to be glowing from. Leading out of it in concentric circles are a series of smaller buildings that look almost like shark's teeth. Each of them is pointed. The roofs are all come to a certain point where you'll notice chimneys have been placed at these highest points. So little whiffs of smoke do climb. A couple of these buildings seem like they might even be occupied. As you get further away from the central point, the buildings also get bigger and bigger, leading to the very edge of the citadel, the rock structure proper, where the ground looks broken and jagged. It looks like it's ready to tumble, so you feel fairly sure you shouldn't stand at the very edge. But once you head into the first layer, the first circle, you should be fine. What sort of building are you going to be looking for? What constitutes a safe spot for you, Nos?
Yeah.
Kale?
An unoccupied area, so one that does not have smoke billowing out of it, and preferably somewhere where we could still move around if we didn't have light, because we can't assume that that's going to stay on us.
Mm-hmm.
So those teeth roof things, no roof things, because we'll fall right off of those. So maybe there's a window or an arrow slit that's big enough to fit some of our larger party members or something.
Okay. So the buildings all around here, there are enough that do look abandoned. You'll notice signs that are hanging off the edge, windows that have been boarded up, a couple buildings that just look like they've been desolated and forgotten. There are a few, I would say, even though it's a circle, right, there are corners to it. If you had 4 corners to it, at those points you would see single towers that just seem to stand as battlements at these corner points, each of those with a flat roof that you could drop down on. They don't appear to be manned, except a small grouping of gargoyle structures at the top of them. Would you trust that, or would you go into one of the ruined buildings?
How about that?
No. I don't like the stone guardian motif there. That doesn't look great. Question: is this whole thing supported on? Is it just like on a disc? Is it really flat, or is there like a big chunk of earth?
It's a huge moat of earth, huge chunk of earth.
So, are there any? I would like to check and see if there's any like openings in that anywhere.
Okay, roll a perception check as you're kind of looking underneath.
All right. And can I guidance this?
Yes, you can.
Awesome. So 20 something. Hold on. 17 plus what's my perception? 6. So 23. I get it.
Fair enough. A brief search around this space, you'll see a couple areas where the earth seems to have been dug out, but everything down here looks very rough hewn. As you look, you don't see anything that goes more than about 10 foot in. So there's no like interconnecting tunnels that can get you inside the city from outside. Unfortunately, there are places where you can stand and you could even sit in these spots and feel comfortable and safe, but without flight you wouldn't be able to get back up to the city.
Okay. All right then. My vote's for one of the abandoned-looking buildings.
All right. Which one? That one?
Does the one you pointed to have gargoyles on it?
Probably not.
Then that one, yeah, that's fine.
And Kale, when we land, of course, we're going to not make any noise. But if you want to stuff yourself in a corner so that your back is protected, I will stand in front of you. We'll keep you safe.
Oh, okay.
Since you're worried about statues and things.
Sure. I mean, you should maybe be worried about statues, too.
I ain't worried about nothing. Nothing can take me down.
Okay.
Sure.
So you guys land. Stealth checks. 25. Nice.
25, yep.
Ooh, boy. 17 plus 3, 20.
20. Okay. So the two of you carefully hide and follow in shadows. Everything's shadow in here, but the darker portions of the shadows. You do hear the sounds of life. You'll hear people talking. You'll hear the sounds of footsteps round corners. So you wait, you find the right moment, and then you'll slip into an alcove, through a door, into an abandoned building. The building that you step into is turned ever so slightly. So the entrance of it is actually up against another building. There's maybe a 5-foot alley between the one building and the one that you look into, and the door just heads right into that alleyway. Slipping into there, everything is dark. No lights, all the windows have been boarded up. What you can see, though, is this was probably, at some point, an old tap room, a tavern of sorts. There is a bar. There are stools and tables that are all broken and cobwebs covered all over them. We lost Wampum. Okay. Rest in peace, Wampum.
God.
Hey. All right.
The curse has been passed on.
Mm-hmm. So you will give him a moment to jump back in, but you guys find yourselves in a dusty, desolate tap room.
Couple questions about the environment here.
Answers.
The alley, does it have anything over it so that if our homies are coming in, will they still be able to see anything of us?
So the alleyway itself doesn't have any roof over it. It's a gap between two buildings right on the edge of one of these circles. It's a tight space, so you would need to leave some form of indication to your party to know they need to come down this way. But because of the way that the buildings are pointed and everything looks jagged a little bit, the casual observer is not going to see the entrance to this space.
How red is my cloak of billowing in the Shadowfell?
Quite.
Okay.
Yeah. If you've ever seen like the Sin City movies, like it stands out.
Yes.
Yeah. Everything is black and white except for you, more or less.
Well, I will stand in the doorway as soon as Kale's in there, and then I will put my my shoulder, I guess, to the entrance, and then I'll make it billow like a flag.
Okay. Every few seconds, just waft. Okay. You still with us, Wampum?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Need your video.
Can't see your face.
Yeah, I'm booting back up. We lost power for a second.
Oh.
He heard about a ruined tavern and just everything died. Ali.
Yeah.
They took off with these spectral wings. Now you can fly of your own accord, but after watching their wings suddenly grow, what do your wings actually look like? They're more like bats' wings, right? They're a little leathery. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You swear the leather between the bones starts to look a little translucent from your point of view.
I will quickly kind of start panicking.
What's wrong, Allie? What's wrong? Stay with us. Stay with us, Allie.
Do my wings look all right to you?
I look just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as wings go, I mean, right proper.
Allie's gonna quickly kind of go up to Lafcadio and like grab his mane, like start feeling it, and let go.
Easy, easy, mate.
Sorry. Couldn't help myself. She's gonna hand the rope to Lafcadio and like place it in his paw. Is it a paw or a hand?
Well, I need opposable thumbs for the crossbow, so. Well,
Oh, yeah.
I hate.
So she puts it in his hand and then kind of lets her wings wrap around her, and she's just gonna kind of sit down quietly. Just kind of inspecting her wings.
Well,
Can I make a investigation check or an insight check or anything like that?
You can roll an investigation check if you wish.
All right, then it's going to be at disadvantage because of the flaw.
Yeah, you are just crazy right now. You're mad.
That would be an 11.
11. Yeah. You keep reminding yourself your wings should be solid. Your wings should be solid, but you can see your hand through your wings. It's a little disconcerting, and even that rope around your waist almost feels like it's starting to constrict just a little bit on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, but it feels like it is.
Mm-hmm. While she's kind of sitting there and I'm panicking, I'm going to pull out my bag and start going through trinkets, rummaging around until I find one of the flowers that I picked up in the Feywild. I'm going to give it a sniff, put it back in, then I'm going to pull out one of the trinkets I got in Evelyn, and Allie's going to start recounting all the places she's been and what trinket she got where, out loud, muttering over and over and over, reminding myself what went where I got it. Not really paying attention to Wampum or Lafcadio, just like a mantra of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll put a hand on Allie's shoulder, try to comfort her. It's all right, Allie. The exit is right up there. We'll be out of here in no time. Stay with us.
So what are the three of you going to do?
Well, I'm waiting. I've got 10 minutes on this flight spell, so I'm going to give them as much as I can in case they needed to fly around and look for things.
Okay. So you wait for the full time for the spell to end, hoping that they found a space to sit before it ended. And it will end. You ready to pick up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. With the fly spell, are we allowed to turn it off of ourselves?
So the fly spell just gives you a fly speed. Whether you use it or not is completely up to you.
Well, it
But
also gave me these nasty wings that I want to get rid of. So I was wondering if I could do that. So I was going to say, as soon as Kale got into the building and didn't think he needed to fly anymore, he would have been like, this needs to come off.
You could always dispel magic on yourself.
I don't want to do that. So his first thought would be, if he can't just end it with a thought, he would sending spell to Lafcadio and be like, okay, we found a place. And I'm gonna describe it with the rest of my words.
Okay.
As best as I can.
You describe a pretty good place.
Okay.
Before the sending comes, I will have a chat with Allie and Wampum, and I'll say, I really admire that you two have came to the Shadowfell. Like this seems like the last place a sane person would go, and like I know why I'm here, and Like, I have these ideas about what my God has in store for me, but I'm really impressed that you guys have come, and I felt like sharing that. Sometimes I feel like I'm not cut out for this, like not like you two anyway, or not certainly not like them. Like I feel like when I was growing up, I was called to a better destiny, like I was special, and and I grew up and I felt like everyone felt that way, and I wasn't special. But then I talked to Nabanyan himself, and I felt like he chose me to do something great. But on our trip to the Feywild, I don't remember it, and from all accounts, I didn't really play a big part in it. And our time here in the Shadowfell so far, I've been utterly useless, and I've been just dropped to unconsciousness over and over. I I think you guys are great, and I just want to let you know that. And I admire your bravery in the face of this adversity.
You be too hard on yourself, Mr. Locardio. I seen you in combat. You've got bravery. You got honor. You got your God behind you. You can't be any higher in me book.
Well, time will tell, I guess, because right now I feel like maybe I've made a mistake. Like I've read his wishes incorrectly.
Now, we all still here. We all still alive, which is, I guess, is a good thing.
Are we alive?
We is. Yeah, you is.
Oh,
come here.
That's good.
Allie, come here.
Allie kind of get up, close her pack, throw it back on, and walk over to Wampum.
Do you feel this? And he pokes her in the forehead.
Ali, roll a wisdom save.
That would be a, let's see, wisdom save with disadvantage, correct?
At disadvantage.
So that'd
This
be an
place
8.
is really gonna mess with you.
That's an 8.
You don't feel it.
I don't feel it. I don't feel anything.
You're just numb, Allie. You numb.
That's not right. That she's really smart. Why would you say such a thing like that?
Allie, grab my arm.
Allie grabs I grab Wampum's arms tight with both of mine and squeeze really hard.
It's totally solid.
See, you real.
Oh, I'm getting a message from Kale. They found a place. We need to get it up there quick. He'll have a look at it maybe. All right, you guys ready?
No, but go ahead.
All right. So first, I grab my Pearl of Power to grab a 3rd level slot back, and then I'll use my last 4th level slot to fly both of us. And it's like, all right, here we go.
So, the two of you, both Lafcadio and Wampum, grow wings, ethereal-looking skeletal wings. It's not that nice.
I have Ellie's leash.
You have Ellie's leash.
Come
Ellie seems fine.
I'd be flying.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be liking this magic stuff.
And you tear off straight up to the Citadel, all the way up. Now, you've got to look for the cloak to identify the spot that the rest of them went to. So roll perception checks, all 3 of you.
Wampum.
And Ali is at disadvantage.
Kale said they were in some abandoned warehouse without gargoyles, and Nos is standing with a cape in the doorway.
20 total for me.
26 for Wampum.
24.
Okay. So, together, you guys focus on the right sorts of things. You look for the spot, and you will find the cloak billowing. Every few seconds, a little bit of a shake and a wave. You spot it. You fly down into the alley. Swinging just above the entrance to this building is a sign, the broken, that seems to have a lion rearing up with the names, the Lordly Lions space written above it. You pass in inside, and everyone's there waiting for you.
Allie leans into left hand. Maybe it's a sign.
It was a sign.
Like
No, well, from Nobanian. Isn't he a lion?
Aye, he is. The king of lions.
So a lordly lion. Then she points the sign, points back.
Could be auspicious.
And Allie will just kind of wander in.
Okay. So everyone inside the tap room, it's quite cozy, but there's no light. So unless you're going to use just your dark vision, what are you guys going to be doing?
So I'll whisper. I'll say, Kale, mate, Allie's not right. She's kind of freaking out. She's not feeling things that she ought to feel, and she's questioning the appearance of her wings. I think they're nice wings. I mean, much better than mine. Oh, right. And I get rid of the wings.
All right. Yeah, so everybody just gather around real quick. Just going to do another quick round of calming everyone's emotions down. Just make sure everybody's doing okay. Nothing harmful.
I get a massage with that?
You can ask Nos, your friend.
Nah, never mind.
I feel she could get more power behind the elbows, you know? But anyway, enough of this foolishness. I cast the calm emotion spell. I start just kind of wiggling my hands around.
And Allie, you snap back to.
Oh,
Is everyone okay?
Yeah.
Allie, I let my wings unfurl, check them over. All good.
Good.
Great.
How long does this last?
How long does it last? I mean, technically a minute. That's how long it normally lasts, but here it might have a more potent effect. I'm not sure.
Allie, do you still need me to hold on to this?
Better to have that than me wander off and get lost. Allie will begin quickly investigating the room we're in, looking around. Just kind of checking on the windows, whether there's any hidden safes or anything like behind the bar.
Roll an investigation check.
That would be a 22.
The place looks like it's long since been abandoned. A very long time ago. There is a safe, but it's broken open. There are a few light coins that have been left behind. Each of them has a curious face embossed into it that you've never seen before, indicating a coin of a certain minting that you've never experienced. Looks like a fairly young-looking man with long hair. Strong features on it.
Kale, is it okay if I take these?
I wouldn't. I'm not going to stop you necessarily, but I would caution against it.
Then could you come over here and look at them? They have. I've never seen this before.
Sure. Yeah, I'll go over there and take a look.
Okay. They just look like silver pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And they would amount to be, with their weight and the amount of them, you would estimate they would be approximately just 25 silver pieces. It's not a lot of coin, but each one of them does have this new minting on it that you've not seen before.
Okay. Yes, that's something I've never seen before. It doesn't look familiar to me at all. As I said, I would caution against taking anything with you from here, meaning the whole everywhere to Shadowfell.
All right. I will reluctantly step away from the silver coins.
Thanks. Appreciate that. So when we were looking over the city, did any of us get a sense that did it seem familiar in any way, like the layout?
It doesn't look like any of the cities you've visited recently, at least. That central tower certainly doesn't exist on the material plane. Buildings and roofs that all look like teeth. You've not experienced cities that are quite like this. It's not like you can pick out one particular town that this used to be or something.
Right, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. The sign outside, none of you guys have ever seen that name before?
Not that I can recall.
While you guys are in there trying to sort things out, just getting a sense of the place, you hear the wind begin to pick up outside. A howl begins to grow as it just seems to spiral. The building itself begins to just vibrate slightly as light shines through cracks in the window. This eerie white light just starts to pierce through like daggers into the room that you're in, and then disappears past.
I'll go outside and poke my head out, see if anything's changed.
Okay. Looking outside, poking your head, roll a perception check.
That's some weird wind.
Not bad, 18.
Okay. Floating as it moves through the city appears to be a male individual, shirtless, wearing a white robe around his waist, floating with huge feathery white wings and a glorious golden mace dragging behind him. He just moves through the streets, casting light from himself more than anything else, and the wind almost seems to be picking up behind him as you see a curl of dust just spiral past.
Is that an angel?
Did you just say angel?
Yeah, come here, look at this.
Womp and walk over, look.
I would like to look at an angel. Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, that'd be an angel.
I will attempt to hide behind the bar.
Roll a stealth check.
13 plus 12, 25.
You hide. You stay hidden. You start to curl up. Your wings wrap around you quite tightly. Everyone else, you watch as this individual that's kind of floating and flying through the streets picks up his mace high above his head. It explodes in light. And then you look and you can almost for a moment see into all of the buildings around him as spectral images of people in their households, sat at tables, talking to one another, lying in bed. You almost see ghostly forms of people shone with his mace light as he makes his way through the town.
I don't suppose this guy's a friendly.
I don't know. It's hard to tell. Does this look like anything like a familiar creature or something I've ever read about?
You can roll a religion check.
I will do that. Proficient in that. So 20.
20, okay. Being a cleric, and being a cleric all about knowledge, right? You know these creatures. You've at least heard of them before. To see one in the Shadowfell is a little concerning, as this individual is definitely a celestial.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Deva.
Deva.
So just going to pull up an image for you of a Deva.
Okay.
Okay.
Deva.
Strictly speaking, lawful good celestials. But why it would be in the Shadowfell is a concern.
What does it do? It's really weird. Well, yes, I've heard of these before.
Can I sense if he's trying to protect something? If he's like doing a patrol?
Insight check on that, I would think.
3.
Okay.
He must live here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really tell if he's protecting anything. Kale would know that Devas are typically messengers. Messenger angels, so they're not really the patrolling kind.
Okay.
Where is the cylinder of light indicating the presence of the crystal in relation to this fella?
He seems to be walking along the concentric circle path. So from the central point, the tower, which has the light coming out of it, you have about 3 different rows of buildings, each progressively getting larger to the outside. And you guys are on the furthest row of buildings. He is walking along the path that is a circle around the citadel.
It looked like he'd be making a patrol.
Perhaps he's looking for something or someone.
Well, the crystal's right there. We should just go there, right? Why would we tangle with this fella?
Makes sense to me.
Well, why would we need to tangle with him? I mean, it's Nos, you were correct. That is an angel. I see no reason why we would be engaged in combat with an angel.
Just if he finds us and he doesn't want us to be here. I don't know. I don't know nothing about no angels.
I don't want us to be here.
And I don't know anything about them, but I bet angels probably don't like anyone with any infernal heritage.
That's true. Maybe you stay out of sight. But he could be a powerful ally in helping us destroy this crystal, though I guess that begs the question, why is he not going after the crystal right now?
That would be my concern. Like, if we know that the crystal needs to be destroyed, surely this celestial supernatural creature would also know this thing. And that he hasn't done it yet suggests either he's not what he seems, or he's part and partial to whatever schemes are embroiled down here, up here, out here.
I find it difficult to believe that a Deva would be wrapped up in some sort of Shadowfell scheme.
Well, then in that case, it's not a Deva. It just looks like one, like the fake you.
Okay, well, this is a pretty defensible location. If we wanted to stop here for a moment. If we do not, I suggest trying to stay out of his way and sneak around. And then if we get caught, maybe then try diplomacy. And then last case scenario, rip his wings off.
So just to make sure I have that right, we're going to sneak to the tower, and if we get caught, play nice. And if he doesn't play nice, fight. Is that?
Should we rest first?
I was just going to say, with that last combat, the powers that Morden give me, they're pretty weak right now.
Yes. As Nas said, again, this is a defensible enough location. We can stop here for a little bit and catch our breath before we continue.
I just need an hour or so.
That's fine. Is there any way to barricade this door? Like, is there something we could put up? Or is there a door there?
The door is missing. It's just an open doorway. However, with all the remains of what used to be the tap room, so the bar stools, the crates and bottles and things that you can find lying around, there are barrels that are empty. You could easily create a form of a barricade.
Are there doors or entrances or hallways or anything to other places?
Mm-hmm. A quick look around the space. This was once a tavern connected. So you've got a large, probably about 20-foot wide, but 50-foot long space with a bar down one side with the door next to it.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the bar, or not behind the bar, but just further back down the room from the bar is a set of stairs that moves up to a balcony space. That balcony then has 4 doors that lead off of it. Now, when Ali went and did her investigation, she just looked and they opened up into bedrooms. It was just simple rooms. No windows in each of these rooms, though.
That's good. Okay. We could hole up in the bedrooms. Maybe we could set up a little barricade here. Or should we do that?
I don't think we should change anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, let's just leave everything the way we found it and then go hide in a room.
Okay.
I just thought of another possibility that doesn't necessarily change our plans, but I wanted to throw it out for consideration that this angel fella is a prisoner of some sort, and he's tied to this floating city in some way.
Well, maybe we can try diplomacy sooner than later, but let's still get closer to that thing before we make any attempts.
Okay. So, you guys hold up in one of the rooms. You rest up for the night. Are you doing any sort of barricades against the door that you step through? Like, are you going into one room together, or are you splitting up?
Allie will be going with someone.
I was going to suggest we all go to the same room. Just stick together right now. Yeah.
Okay. And then are you going to be defending the door in any particular way?
Is this going to be a short rest or a long rest?
Short. Unless somebody wants different.
I would love to take a long rest, but that's if I'm the only one. If everybody else is fine with just taking a quick rest, and I'll be okay.
I kind of want you guys to be at your best. Personally.
My only concern is that if we spend too much time in one spot, that Diva...
Then I'll get worse.
Any of us could get worse, and then the Deva, if they are looking for somebody, they might happen upon us, and then we might get caught up in something. I'm not sure what.
I want to say that the risk is worth ensuring that you guys are at full capacity. Because taking that thing on when you're not, I don't know.
Well, Nos, I'm currently feeling a pretty poor track record in excursions to the plains. So the less time we can spend here, the better. I'd like to get back to the material plane as soon as possible. And if that means that we make our trek to the tower at less than 100%, I'd prefer that.
I believe in diplomacy, or not diplomacy, democracy. So the ayes have it.
Short rest. All right.
Okay. So you all go in. I'm going to need everyone to make a perception check, though, while the short rest is going on.
24.
23.
I saw that nat one.
21, I think. Or wait, 23.
Okay. All right. So as you guys hold up, you do hear those little hums of sounds that have been going on go silent, like deathly silent for a moment. And then you hear one set of footprints just patting very quickly through the street. And then a scream. A woman's scream. No, don't. I didn't mean to. I didn't see anything, I promise. No. Are you going to do anything?
I don't think I heard that.
Probably a trick.
Everyone that rolled over a 12 would have heard it. Nos wouldn't have.
Well, Kale, I can't let that. I can't. I just can't let it go. And Wampum starts heading downstairs.
Wampum! I try to catch him. That might be a trick.
More than a tell me if it's a trick.
I don't know if you've noticed or not, but we're in a place where Morden has very little to none sway at all. It might be hard for you to believe that, but please just don't do anything stupid.
I never do nothing stupid.
You're about to.
Do you still charge?
I'm just going to peek out then.
Okay.
So I'm going to
So peeking out of the room that you're in, or peeking out of the full tavern?
The full tavern.
Okay.
Could you maybe let Ellie do that?
Nope.
He's on to me. I was like, I saw that one.
Okay. So, Wampum, you step out. You look out of down the alleyway. You can see some light, and there is a shadow being cast against a building. Roll a perception check. See if you can figure out what the shadows.
I would like to just tap him on the shoulder and give him guidance as he's leaving.
20, but my passive's a 22.
Okay, right. The silhouette that you can see up against the building opposite the alleyway seems to show a woman, a female form, a fairly short individual, laying down on the ground with a hand raised up. You can hear the screams happening as some large creature just slashes down at her with claws. What do you do? You can't actually see the encounter happening from just the doorway. You'll have to go further down the alley if you want to be able to see it.
I'm going to shout up the stairs, "She's being killed. I'm going to help."
Wait, what if it's more Shadowfell trickery?
Well, it doesn't matter now. He just yelled. Into the middle of the building, so...
So just to clarify, are we rested or are we not rested?
No, this was during the short rest. And if him leaving and getting involved in combat ends his short rest, the rest of you, if you leave, same thing will happen to you. Wampum, as you step out around the corner, you will see the silhouette being cast. And sure enough, that David that had been walking past stood there over nothing. His mace is held up high and it's creating the image, and the sound seems to be emanating from him. But you look briefly up, you can see that he's wearing a huge golden muzzle over his face, with eyes that just scream at you. He's pulling up his mace to attack. I'm going to need you to roll initiative.
Okay.
And everyone else, if you wish to leave the room, you're welcome to do so.
Yeah, I'm not leaving him alone.
Allie won't leave unless Lafcadio, who's holding the leash, goes.
Come on, Ellie. We can't leave him alone.
I'm going.
Okay. So.
Advantage.
He's by himself. Everyone else is coming up.
I have a 19.
You have a 19? Okay.
25.
20 for me.
13.
Okay. So, in terms of the map that we have here, everyone else is off the side. Where you're currently positioned is just coming out the alley. This is Wampum charging out, and he sees the open space with the Dava in it. Let me add everyone in. So Wampum, what was yours?
19.
19, okay. Kale.
13.
13. And Ali.
20.
20. Nice. All right. Guys are doing pretty well. See how well the David does.
Pretty good.
That was pretty good from him. All right. So, top of the round, as the David goes to attack Wampum, not Lafcardium. In order to get up to Wampum's position, it only is going to take you a 60 foot of movement. Okay? That's you charging out of the room, down into the tap room, and then down the alley into the opening.
I want to think that while we were grouping for the short rest, we would have been talking about this Deva, like if diplomacy goes wrong. Kale, what do you think we should do to this diva? Or is there something in particular that we know about divas that they would care about in order to improve our chances of diplomacy?
They're angels. They're good creatures. If they see that we're good, then they shouldn't be hostile. As far as, are you asking about weaknesses, or?
If you know of any, in case it comes to that.
I do not. They're, as far as I know, they're very resilient.
All right. Well, then, having recalled that in this heat of the moment, this conversation, I'll run up to Wampum's space using my feline agility to double my move speed, and we'll say, "Hold, friend! We're here to save you."
He's got evil in his eyes, Lafcardio. He may be an angel, but there's evil in them eyes.
He might think that we're his captors, and I'm telling him that we're not.
Well, if I get close enough, I'm ripping that thing off his face.
Well, I think that might help, because it looks like it's uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Lafcardio, roll an insight check.
Five.
Never mind. Okay, so that was your feline agility, got you up to that spot. Was your action just that you were trying to influence his behavior to calm down?
Yep. We're on the same team, mate.
Okay, roll a persuasion check, sorry. Persuasion.
13.
13? Okay. The eyebrows kind of tense and furrow, and the mace still ready for an attack.
Lafcadio, wasn't that a 22 total? 13
No.
plus 9?
No, the 9
No.
is in there. I rolled a 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No seeming response from him as of yet, for or against your application. Okay. Well, it is his turn, and so he is going to float over to you, swinging the mace. You see a slight tear just kind of well up in his eye. Quite clear at this range, he does not want to be doing this, but he has no control whatsoever as he swings his mace to hit Wampum. That is a 24 to hit.
That will hit.
Wampum takes 10 points of bludgeoning damage and 20 points of radiant.
Okay.
He then swings down at Lafcadio, coming for an over the top. That is a 17 to hit.
Miss.
Okay. Ali.
All right. Ali is going to run up to beside Nos.
Okay. Well, you guys are so.
Oh, right.
Kale,
So she'll run
Nos,
30 feet
Ali.
towards Wampum.
Yeah. You're in the bedroom. 30 feet will get you out of the door. Another 30 foot would get you out of the alley.
Okay.
Clear.
So
I would
I'll
not.
just-
I would not have let Wampum run off that far without me. I was thinking I'd be somewhere in between, starting out,
Okay, so you'd start
coming
out
up after him.
the doorway.
Yeah,
So-
that'd be good.
So
Yeah.
30 foot would get you to Nos's position at the doorway, and then an additional 30 foot would get you out into the clearing.
All right. So I will get to the doorway then.
Okay.
And I am going to use my cunning action. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I'll use my action to just kind of find a hiding spot.
Okay, so you have
'Cause-
no line of sight between you and the Deva right now.
Yep.
So you can hide anywhere. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
All right. That would be a natural 20.
Okay.
So 32.
Plus whatever. 32. Okay. Wampum.
Is he on the ground with me, or is he still floating?
He's floating, so he's not actually touching the ground, but he is in melee with you. He's a towering individual, close to 8 foot tall, and he's floating a foot or two above the ground.
Okay. I am going to jump up and attempt to grab that golden mask on his face and yank it off.
How high is your jump?
Well, strength of 25, so that's
So a high jump, a vertical jump, is equal to your modifier, right?
so it's 9 feet.
9 feet. Halved if you're not taking a running jump. So 4 foot vertical where you are. How tall are you?
4'3". Hold on. Let me go
Okay.
to. Let me
So
go to
standing where
description.
you are, you should be able to jump up and just about reach his mouth. Roll an athletics check.
Athletics. Okay. And then that is a 9. That's going to be an 18.
You still got guidance because I don't think you used it before on the perception.
Okay, so that's a D4.
Yep.
And 4 on top of that, so a 22.
Okay. All right. So you reach up and you grab hold of that mask that's on his face. You're holding onto it, and you keep hold of it, but it doesn't come loose. You're
Right.
now dangling from his face.
All right, so with my second attack, I'm going to put my feet to his chest, grab it with both hands, and just yank as hard as I can yank.
Okay. Go ahead and roll another athletics check.
$23.
Okay. You pull, and you pull hard. It seems to almost start tearing at the flesh around his mouth. You can see parts of his skin beginning to stretch as you're pulling it away. It seems this thing is attached by more than just force of will. And as such, you can't pull it off without pulling his entire jaw. It's not coming off. If you keep trying, you might break the Celestial's jaw.
I'm going to. I haven't used my action surge. I'm going to action surge
Yeah?
and try it 2 more times.
Okay. Roll another athletics check.
A 24.
It's shifting. You can hear the snap and a break of a bit of bone. You're going
And
to try one
then-
more time?
Yep. Which is then a 27.
There we go. 25 is what it needed. You pull, and in the effort, you end up throwing yourself in a somersault backwards. You barely land on the floor at your feet and fall down prone. with the golden mask in your hand and the lower jaw of the Celestial. You've just ripped it out of him. His tongue just drops. Blood that's yellow just begins to just drip from the upper half of his jaw. Anything else from you, Wampum?
I'm just going to look back up at him and just see what his reaction is.
He looks in pain and looks like he's still got no control. Roll an insight check.
Okay, insight check.
Yeah.
Uh, 17.
Okay. Trying to think. A celestial being that is in prison finds some people that might be able to help it. The first thing they do is rip his jaw clean out of him. He looks confused. He looks lost and in pain, but there's no letting up. There is magical aura, you can tell, coming from the golden plate over the lower bone that you have. Anything? Well, that's it for you, Wampum.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Kale. You would have heard a scream.
Right, I heard a lady screaming, right?
Yeah. And then I think just now you would have heard the muffled sound of...
Right, but Wampum didn't at any point say what exactly was happening. He just said she's being killed, I think is what he said.
Correct.
Okay. So I guess Kale would run the 30 feet as well and kind of like get up behind. Well, I guess that's 20 feet. Get up behind the two red people. So I'm at the doorway to
From
see
that
out.
position, you've got an alleyway that's between you and them. They're out in the clearing. You can probably see Wampum on the floor with a golden plate in his hand. Or more like a bowl. It looks like a bowl, more or less. But you don't see the Deva.
Okay. Shit. I'm gonna guess that he's in an encounter with some sort of Shadowfell horror stuff. And shoot. I guess I'll just put a hand on Nasa's shoulder real quick. Just give her a little poke and cast protection from evil and good on her.
Okay.
Say, you're I don't know if you feel it, but you're protected.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep. Go help your friend.
Nos, what would you do?
So, you said he doesn't see the Deva. Do I see the Deva?
The Deva's not directly in front of the alleyway. So for you to be able to see it, you need to get out. Yeah, line of sight.
Do I at least see the shadow?
Yeah, you'd see the shadow. You'd see Wampum on the floor. What would you do?
After being booped, I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Just go help. Go help.
Okay.
What do you see?
Wings. Shadow of wings. So I will, Wampum took a good amount of damage. That's enough to put me in a rage. So I will go ahead and bonus action do that. And then I will charge at this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whip around the corner. And I'm going to try to jump on his back.
Okay, so you run up. You can see this Deva now dripping with blood down its chest.
Ugh.
Run up, jump up its back. This is effectively going to be a grapple, but you can use acrobatics if you wish. So either athletics or acrobatics contested with his athletics or acrobatics.
I'll stick with that athletics, thanks.
Okay, just checking.
As Nos jumps, Wampum's going to yell, He be good, Nos. He does be good.
How do we help? I got a 20.
And you run around, you climb up onto his back, you have hold of his wings. He is now grappled with you up on his back.
And
what are you going to do?
I guess for a second attack, melee attack, I'll headbutt him. See if I can get him to calm down. Calm down!
Go ahead.
That's a critical? Critical headbutt?
That is a critical headbutt. Okay,
oh, wow,
this Dava has not been having a very good time.
So 12 mundane bludgeoning.
Okay.
I got a mundane nugget.
With a resounding crack, you just headbutt the back of this guy. He's looking hurt. That's
I'm sorry, I
unfortunate.
don't know how to help you. Just calm down. Just sit down, please.
Okay. Anything else from you, Nos?
Nope, just gonna hang on to him.
Okay. Life cardio.
I'm gonna throw my net at him. 26.
Okay. 26. Yeah, 26 is going to hit.
All right. Oh,
it's
listen.
also going to wrap around Nos as well.
Listen to my friend. Calm down. We're here to help. The brains of the operation is on his way. Just settle down, mate.
Okay. Anything else from you?
That's it.
Right. You all hear a voice in your head telepathically speaking to you. Help me. Help me, please.
Give me my mouth back.
It's like, I'm trying.
How do we help you?
What do you need to do?
Destroy the muzzle.
Makes sense.
Okay.
And then he is going to, as Dave is a wont to do, magically polymorph into a humanoid or beast that has a challenge rating equal to or less than its own.
T-Rex.
So, he's transforming into a T-Rex, but it's a zombified T-Rex.
No.
Yep.
Wouldn't that be an undead then?
Or at least, well, it looks zombified. Nature of the Shadowfell.
Gotcha.
But what it's doing is by using his action to shift into the T-Rex form. Nos is still on his back, but that net is slowly lifted up to look more like a little hat on the top of his head.
Oh, you're the one that prepares my chips.
Got a little bit of a Rick James thing going on now.
Okay, so that's his action. Ali.
Yes.
Hiding in the tavern?
Well, I was in the entranceway, hiding outside. Yep. I will continue to sneak.
Okay, so there is an alley that's 5 foot wide that leads you out to the opening.
So I want to head 5 feet or to the end of the alleyway and then up, cut like an L.
Okay. You're going to go up, like flying above?
No. Running on the streets.
Yes. So what I'm saying is at the end of the 5 foot alleyway, which is about 5 foot long, that's where wampum is sat, and then it's a wide city street from that point on. So you're hoping to hide, but what are you going to hide behind once you get there? There is debris, there is buildings all around, but hiding behind something is going to be difficult. What are you hoping to get out of this?
I guess what I will do instead is get onto the roof of the building from the alleyway by flying up.
Yep.
And then I will check my inventory, see if I have anything special. I don't. I'm going to hold my attack to fire at him with my crossbow when he makes an attack against any of our allies.
Okay. As you fly up, you see a giant T-Rex missing its lower jaw.
So it's only half a threat.
Yeah. All right. Wampum, what are you going to do?
I'm putting the mask on the ground and I'm hitting it twice with the hammer.
Okay. Go ahead and smack that mask.
So it's a 19 to hit.
Definitely hits.
And 5 points of damage.
5?
Yes.
Are you, like, is the 5 what you've rolled or what you've put out in roll 20? Because it looks like an 8 to me.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is an 8. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, cool. So you start to break this thing and bend the item. It's very sturdy. It's very tough. You're going to attack again?
The second attack is going to be a 20.
That'll hit.
And it's going to be 12 points of damage.
All right. Another crack against it. Now it's beginning to bend underneath your attacks. The bone that's still attached to the inside is giving it a little extra rigidity. So it's making it a bit harder to be able to dismantle. But you can keep going. Anything else from you, Wampum?
That's it.
Okay. Kale?
Okay, so you said we heard that voice in all our heads.
All of your heads. All 5 of your heads.
Okay, so Kale will run out and see that Wampum is doing the thing that we were asked to do. And then, shoot. Is passive insight a thing?
There isn't such as passive insight.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
what would you? It's on your sheets, but it's
right.
not just really.
It's on my sheet.
Yeah, outside of D&D Beyond, I've never seen that before. Okay, so it does give some form of indication of your base ability to tell whether or not someone's lying. But what are you hoping to? What are you looking for?
I was wondering if maybe it would give me some insight as to the best way to break this object.
It wouldn't work in that particular way. I don't think.
Okay.
I mean, Wampum could let you know that it's a magical item. Dispelling it might work if you're capable of doing so. I don't know if you've got spell slot left for that.
I sure do. So yeah, that was going to be my next thing I was going to try.
Okay.
You're just going to walk up and he's going to be like, Wampum, let me see that. Let me see it real quick.
It's in the dirt.
Okay.
I've been pounding it in the dirt.
All right, well then just stop for a second. And then Kale will book in one hand. The book kind of like flares, the eye on it flares as he waves a hand over the object and casts Dispel Magic on it.
Okay. What level do you cast it at?
5th. Fuck it.
5th level?
Yeah.
Okay. There is a faint popping sound as a little bit of dust seems to just spark out of the bone within the mask. Immediately after doing so, the Deva shrinks back to what he is, drops the mace on the floor, lowers himself to the ground so that his feet are on it, and you see his wings slump down, and a voice, "Thank you," as the Deva collapses, unconscious on the floor.
Collapses into my lap.
Yep.
It's very
still got
accidental Renaissance.
That was quite a ride for you.
No kidding. Can I do?
And yes, you can get your net. Yes.
Can I stabilize him? Does he need to be stabilized?
He doesn't look like he's unconscious from lack of health. So it doesn't look like he's about to die because of that. He looks exhausted.
Ah, poor guy.
Can we put his jaw back on him?
That was, yeah. Kale's going to grab the thing because it seems inert now, right? Like it's...
Yeah, the golden plate is inert. The bone has actually fallen out of it in shards because it's taken a beating from Wampum.
Right. So he'll I mean, so the Dave was clearly unconscious?
Clearly unconscious.
I pull out my maracas of mending. Don't worry, I can fix the jaw. And I,
Yeah, anything.
I
Call that one, DM.
Really cool.
Could you use mending to to fix a broken arm? That's the question. This spell repairs a single break or tear in an object you touch, such as a broken chain link, two halves of a broken key, a torn cloak, or a leaking wineskin. Wineskins technically made out of. Yeah. Okay, then you'll have to use a mending on each break and each piece of the jaw as you place it in, and then start shaking your maracas over the Deva as you place each bone back in place.
holy crap, it's working. It's gonna take a minute.
You're sitting there like holding the jaw, like pressing it where it's supposed to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, right there. Put
Right.
more pressure there.
Okay, it's broken off into 5 pieces, and so it'll take 5 minutes of you doing this, grabbing one piece, fixing it to the rest of the jaw, and then so on. Eventually, you fix the guy's jaw. He's still unconscious, but at least he doesn't look undead.
Fantastic.
What are you going to do with the body of the Deva?
Drag him into the tavern?
Yep. Yes. Yeah, bring him inside.
I'll
Got it.
carry it inside.
Dragging this guy, he's very heavy. He is built.
Me and Wampum
Like
got
a
this
truck.
together, at least.
Okay.
I'll
So
try
you
to.
guys get the body. Who's getting the mace?
I'm gonna conceal the ground, like no tracks, if I can.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll go try and grab the mace.
The mace itself feels very light in your hand. It feels perfectly weighted, almost like you could wield it in battle. Like it feels good. Ooh, you feel charged holding this mace.
Okay.
It's a magical mace.
Neat.
As you drag him inside, you'll drag him into the space. Take him into the bedroom, or just into the main tap room.
We'll put him on a bed.
Put him on a bed. Okay. All right. As you place him down, he's going to need some time, at least a short rest, to come back to consciousness. So if you guys would like to take a short rest with him in the room, you're welcome to do so.
Sure would.
All right. Cool. Then the short rest will... as our heroes are going to take their short rest, we're also going to take a quick 15-minute break. So join us in 15 minutes when our heroes deal with a celestial. Yeah, all right. Welcome back, everyone, after the short little break. Thank you very much for sticking with us. So we rejoin the adventure as our heroes have just gained the benefits of a short rest. So go ahead and expend any hit dice that you feel the need to expend, if you have any left, and regain those hit points. It's been a long day, I know. At the end of the short rest, the Deva begins to wake up. Now, I know you joked about it, but did you actually tie up the Deva with the net?
No.
No, okay. All right. So, waking up, he looks around the room at all of you.
Allie's not there.
Ali's
I am
there,
not
I
there.
know. You're not there. His wings stretch for a second, and they spread out and really fill the room that he's in, and then shrink down to him. This 8-foot-tall, extremely muscular individual, flowing blonde hair, eyes as white as the sun, just staring at each of you. Thank you. Thank you for freeing me. Yes. Yes. It has been a nightmare these past few days.
What happened to you?
I was forced into servitude against my will. Dark powers, devils and demons are grouping together for something very dark, very evil.
So you said devils and demons are working together?
Yes.
Okay.
A small band of each cornered me while I was taking a task, taking a message. My job was to deliver a message to Zariel on the second level of the Nine Hells. Unfortunately, I never managed to complete that task. I was captured and forced into this vile servitude.
By the binding magic of that thing.
I've never seen magic potent like that, to force a creature such as myself to act against my own will. It is strange, new.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Me do apologize for ripping off that bottom jaw.
And I apologize for hitting you. I had no control. I could not stop myself. Are any of you still hurt?
No, I'm all right.
Not from our fight, but from a previous fight. I'm a little rough around the edges.
Okay. He reaches out a hand to give you a light touch. Would you accept his healing touch?
Yes, like a cat. I would try to rub my cheek.
Okay. 1 second. That didn't work. Sorry. All right, you get back 34 hit points.
Damn.
That feels great. Thanks, mate.
Okay.
So what exactly was it that you were set upon this place to do?
I was here to watch for intruders, to protect Say Diablo Hall.
Say Diablo Hall?
Yes.
Diablo Hall.
Say Diablo Hall.
Diablo Hall.
Intruders. So when you say intruders, do you mean intruders into the Shadowfell or to the city specifically?
Into the city specifically. This city was lifted up and magic was used to move it, to ensure that the keep, the hall, was not kept away from unwelcome hands.
Mm-hmm.
What awaits us further?
I don't know what is inside, for I cannot enter. I tried at one point, but I couldn't. The very nature of the Shadowfell and the world is broken inside that tower. I don't understand the situation, truly. But I know that someone placed something in there and left it to feed upon this land.
That's what we be going to break.
You don't know the identity of any of your captors? No true names, maybe?
I know a name. Whether it is their true name, I cannot be sure. When I was brought here, a dwarf named Elurion placed me here, the mask upon my face, and created that light from the middle of the hall.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good to know. This dwarf, any outstanding particular features? Did they happen to share any more of their plans with you, where they were headed?
I learned only that more crystals were to be placed in more locations. Not here on the Shadowfell, but in other planes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we encountered one in the Feywild, actually, already.
Ah. Did you destroy it?
Yes.
Ah, good. These crystals are feeding off of something, but I don't know where they are sending the energy to. If someone has placed a crystal to feed off of each of the planes, then who knows what power must be needed for.
Someone knows, I'm sure.
Someone does.
What? If you don't mind my asking, and feel free to, refuse to answer, but what was the nature of this message you were sending to Zerial?
It was a sacred edict, and I cannot share that.
Of course, that's fair.
Who was it from?
Again, as much as I appreciate your rescuing me from my servitude, the nature of my work is far too sacred to divulge.
Of course. That's perfectly fine. I wouldn't ask you to betray the trust of your masters. I imagine you'll probably want to move on and try and deliver that message now?
Well, you're like an extraplanar guy, yeah?
To a degree, yes.
You wouldn't happen to know a way out of here, would you?
Only in literally plane shifting out.
How do you do that?
It's a spell.
Yes. I can do so for myself, but not for others.
Fair enough. Would you be willing to perhaps help us destroy this crystal?
I would, but as discussed, I cannot get close to it. I've not been able to, and it seems to be feeding, and I can feel its pull already. But what I can do and offer is you may take my weapon.
Oh, I wouldn't dream of taking that from you.
Okay.
That's crazy. You need this, right? If you're to be traveling between different layers of hells and the abyss and celestial planes, and you need a weapon, right?
I may be able to replace it. There is very little light down here, and you need all the help you can get.
Okay. Well, far be it for me to argue with a celestial being such as yourself.
He stands up, still a little bit shaky on his feet. I must be off. I must get as far away from here, lest someone find out you have broken me out of my stupor, and they come after me looking for you.
Of course. Well,
may Morden guide your flight.
I've never gotten along well with Moradin, but I thank you.
I offer.
I have a quick question, if you'll be so kind. What is your position on the humanoids that are the result of demonic consorting? Tieflings, what we call them on our plane. How do you feel about those types?
The sin of consorting with demons and devils cannot be forgiven. but should not be placed upon the heads of the offspring, who had no right or help in their creation. I feel no ill will towards those of demonic descent, so long as their actions remain good and true. Who you are is more than just your skin. It is your actions and what you do with what you've been given.
I couldn't have put it better myself. Could you hold that thought? Just give me 1 second, and I'll just back down and find Allie. Allie! Allie!
Hmm? What?
The angel says he doesn't care if you're a tiefling. You want to meet him?
Sure.
All right. Oh, Angel. And we'll walk back in. I'm sorry, mate. I didn't catch your name. What's your name?
It is good to finally meet you, little one. I'm sorry I may have scared you.
No, it's all right.
Well, greetings, and thank you for aiding these in aiding me. It has been a pleasure to meet you.
So you don't have a name, or?
I would prefer not to give out my name.
Okay. I just wanted to be clear. I wasn't sure if you heard him or not.
Well, I'm Lafcadio. It was a pleasure meeting you. Thanks for the healing.
It is a pleasure.
I appreciate it.
I'm gonna call you Dan. Dan the Deva.
Could you not? For
Why not?
misbehaving in front of the angel.
Wampum will walk over and pick up the mace and walk towards Kale and put it to his chest.
Surely you could swing this a lot harder than I can.
I'd be having me hammer. You need one.
All right. He'll kind of gingerly take it in his hands and feel the not weight of it. Feels weird.
Then may the gods watch over each of you, and I can assure you, they are watching over each of you.
Great, thank you.
And he begins to just phase out of existence, away from you all,
I gotta learn this
disappearing
spell.
in a little puff of smoke.
Gotta figure out how to cast that spell, you guys.
It will be really helpful in our current situation and situations that we're likely to find ourselves in the future.
Did we take the muzzle after we dispelled it?
No, 'cause I thought it was still attached to like his jawbone.
Well, yeah, I mean, but once we kind of pried that off.
So the jawbone fell out when it was dispelled. So
Oh, okay, I missed that.
yeah, you've still got the muzzle.
Okay.
It's
That's fine.
inert.
Okay, I was about to say, because Allie would have taken it or scooped it up, had.
Right. So what would you like to do with that?
Well, everybody feel a little better?
Yeah, let's go destroy that crystal. Oh, wait.
Yes, I think it's time to get on with the mission.
I'm about tapped, guys. I'll move on. I don't know how much power this mace will give me, but as far as my own, magical reserves, I'm kind of running a little low.
Well, since we did away with the Guardian, maybe we can get away with the long rest.
I don't want to spend any longer here. Let's just go destroy that crystal.
Lafcadio, we need Gale. We need Gale's abilities.
Sure, but
I'm sure you can hold on for a few hours.
you say that, but I'm reluctant to believe it.
I'm sure we'll be fine, Lafcadio.
We'll be fine going straight to the crystal? Or we'll be fine
waiting.
taking a rest?
We'll be fine if we just stay here for a while, if that's fine with everybody else. But if the rest of you are anxious to leave and don't want to wait for the length of an overnight stay, although it's difficult to tell day and night here.
Look, Cadio, if it makes you feel better, maybe we could go explore the town a little bit and scout out the tower.
No, Allie, you ain't going nowhere.
That would not make me feel better. I appreciate the creative problem solving that you're bringing to the table, though. It's good. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't want to die, and Kale's quite good at making sure that doesn't happen. So I guess I'll stick with Kale.
I appreciate the vote of confidence on that front.
Well, let's go grab some shut-eye.
Kale, if you refresh your sheet, you will find Lightbringer has been added to your character sheet.
Neato. I hope it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't require attunement. Woo! I've had to make some hard decisions.
It is a gift from the heavens.
Neat.
All right. So you guys bed down to rest. You camp up, some of you feeling less needful of a rest than others. So who's going to take the first watch?
I mean, I can take the first 2 watches. Allie's.
How?
I mean, Allie's not in dire need of resting, so she could take 2 shifts if needed.
Okay. If you take more than 1 shift, you won't gain the benefits of a long rest at the end of the 8 hours.
And would I still be able to take a short rest, though?
You could take a short rest, but it's worth noting that if you don't have a long rest within 24 hours of the last one, you risk exhaustion.
Okay, so I'll take 1.
Okay. Elves can take 2 watches simply because they take a long rest over 4 hours. So, Lafcadio, go ahead and roll a perception check.
Ten.
Okay. Thankfully, during your watch, very little happens, though you do hear the sound of all of the horrifying screams of creatures off in the distance, but nothing else seems to occur. Who do you pass off to?
Allie looked quite anxious, so well, wake up, Allie. Nothing to report, just, dread and horror everywhere. Don't let it get to you. Good night.
And has the clear mind worn off? Or
So, calm emotion spell completely removes the despair.
Okay. All right. Allie will kind of bunk over and take over.
All right. Roll a perception check.
That'd be a 11. But I will use my passive, which is 20.
All right. During your watch, you begin to hear a very faint sound coming from the room beyond. Just outside the tavern, there almost sounds like a music box playing a light little tune.
I will wake up Wampum. Wampum, do you hear that?
What?
You do hear that.
What, the music?
I'm going to go check it out.
Oh, Lordy. You better not go outside,
I'll just go downstairs and look.
or I will thump you in your forehead again.
Please don't. I don't have any more healing potions.
So, do not go outside. You can look. Don't go outside.
I will not go outside, I promise.
Okay.
You step out of the room, you go down to the main tap room. You can still hear the sound. It's coming from outside the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
You go outside, obviously. Right?
I mean, I'll peek around the corner first, like of the doorway, look both ways.
You don't see what might be causing this audio.
Okay. Do I have the general direction it's coming from?
Seems to be coming from above, actually. As you step towards the door, you can hear it coming from above the building next to you.
Above the building next to me.
Now that you turn to look up that way, you see there is... Hang on, there's a small square window with a tiny little flickering light coming out of it.
I will immediately run back to the group and tell them what I've seen. And guys, wake up! I think there's a portal.
What?
I saw a window up in the sky. We could go through it. I heard music.
I think windows are literally portals. I think.
We ain't done the mission yet, Allie.
All right.
A portal to where? To what?
I can go check.
No, I'll check. Where'd you say it was?
Right above the entrance.
Okay. Just hold on. Just don't go. Nobody go anywhere or do anything. And Kel will kind of just sit up, still kind of in a stupor, and he'll fish out his book and like thump it down in front of him, and then place a hand on it, and the eye flares, and he casts Arcane Eye with his last 4th level slot.
There we go. All right, so you follow the direction guided by Ali. At least this time, there actually is a window, and there is a little candle light flickering from inside of it. So you float the Arcane Eye up, look through the window. It's an attic space with a single candle on the floor. It's a small red candle burning away. You can see the wax is dripping down off of it, so it's probably been burning for a while. Around it, in a nice little neat little circle, is a small pentagram sigil with other arcane markings on the floor. A few more small lights, though no candles associated with them, just tiny little sparks of light at each of the point of the pentagon. And then this arcane eye doesn't allow you to be able to hear through it, does it? Only gives you visuals.
I'm pretty sure that is accurate, but let me double check. Mentally receive visual information from the eye. Yeah.
So as you stare at this light, the flame begins to shift and flicker. It takes on the form of a woman in a wide-brimmed dress, dancing away like a ballerina on top of this wick, spinning and spiraling.
And you said it was... There's a pentagon or a pentagram?
Pentagram.
Oh, boy. Okay. Do any of the arcane sigils look like anything to me?
Roll an Arcana check.
Sure. 20. That wasn't what I rolled. I just had to grab a d20. Yeah, that was bad. Can I guidance it?
With your what? Your plus 17? What is
It's
the...
plus 14, okay, and I only rolled a 3.
Okay, so you got a 17.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If it's below 20, I just feel like shit.
That is an average person.
I know.
Most people struggle to get past 20. It would appear that the sigil around it isn't in any way innately arcane in and of itself. Like, it doesn't match any particular circles. It's not a teleportation circle. It's not a spell in and of itself.
What do you see?
There's a pentagram, and the flame looks like a lady on a candle. And she's dancing around. I don't know.
Do you think I could grab it?
I don't mess with any pentagram stuff, please. I know it might seem, I don't know, homey to you, but just don't. Just leave it alone. Just watch it. I need to go back to sleep.
All right, I'll watch it.
And don't touch it.
Yeah, sure.
Interact with it physically.
Have a good night, Kale.
Okay.
So what's you gonna do, Ali?
Allie's gonna fly up closer to the window, not touch it, but look in more depth with like maybe a 5-foot distance between the two of them.
Okay. So you see through. You can see the little dancing woman. You can hear the music box audio sort of playing as she's dancing there. Her dancing becomes a little bit more lively as you watch it. It's quite sparkly and nice.
I'm gonna close my eyes.
Okay.
And
when you close your eyes, you still see the image of the woman dancing, almost as if she's
calling
through
me.
you. Well, just like almost as if you can see her on the back of your eyelids, like through it to see her.
I'm going to whisper to her. Hello?
There's a closed window between you, right?
Yeah, so she's trying to like speak through, so it goes through the window, but not go herself.
No response.
She will pull out a trinket and throw it at...
You'll throw it at the candle?
Yeah. Well, wait, yeah. More importantly, she's throwing one of the flowers from the Feywild.
Okay. The flower flows towards it, and the flame will reach out to grab it, but it'll shift from that tiny little dancing woman to an enormous, great big claw as it reaches up, grabs the flower, and just crushes it and burns it in an instant.
Well, I immediately go down.
I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw.
All right. That would be a 15.
15. Okay. You managed to hold on to your sanity again. At least. But then the rest of your watch goes by quietly. Nothing happens. I'm assuming you don't tell the rest of the group.
Allie goes right in the room, sits down, and just does not say a word.
Okay. Who's taking the third watch?
Wampum will.
Wampum, go ahead and roll a perception check, Wampum.
That's a 20 even, but I do have a passive of 22.
Okay. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything. Everything seems fairly quiet during your watch. Which is good. You pass off to the last person who's taking the fourth and final watch.
I'll walk over and wake up Nos.
I'll do my best.
Perception check, Nos.
You're not bad. 16.
16. Not bad. You hear footsteps outside, people moving about, but nothing too sinister, at least. Nothing seems to be getting so close that it triggers your feeling of need for action. Being the kind of individual that's not, if I understand correctly, you're not really that as curious as, say, Ali would be. You'll hear stuff, but you wouldn't go and investigate unless it seemed like it was too dangerous, right?
Yeah, I'm plenty risk takey, but not to the extent of being hazardous.
Yeah. So you stay and just wait to see if anything dangerous happens. Nothing does. Everyone gains the benefits of a full long rest. Everyone wakes up bright and early. The sky is still black. There's still dust everywhere. In fact, as you wake up, you swear you see cobwebs already forming on you. Dust settling all around you almost instantly.
I prestidigitated all that off.
All of it.
Oh,
I
wow,
gotta look
what
sharp.
a beautiful day in the Shadowfell.
So, what are you going to do on this fine, dark and dreary morning?
Let's go break that crystal.
Kale, Mr. Kale.
I'm ready to go after he casts his third level aid and Death Ward on himself.
Okay. Fair enough. So, making your way towards through the city, it is built fairly well in terms of the structural aspect. You can move through streets without too much of a concern. But are you going to be trying to move through quietly and enter into, say, Diablo Hall by like stealthily, or just going to walk down the street?
I'm going to suggest stealth.
Allie
Yeah,
is
that's-
going to also suggest that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stealth checks all around.
I gotta roll things for that.
You want me to roll for Lafcadio?
Yeah, while he's stepped away.
I got a 23.
21 total.
Fair enough.
Wampum got a 7.
I got a 26. Lafcadio got a 25.
Okay. All right. Enough of you managed to successfully stealth that you make up for Wampum. You don't go straight towards the hall, towards the tower. The city is built up in those concentric circles, but every 100 or so foot around the bend, the road turns, and you do have, like spokes in a wheel, streets that go straight towards the central tower. And so rather than going straight towards it, you follow down one of the circles, turn, you see some creatures beginning to make their way towards you, so you go down another of the circle bends, turn down, and keep going, finding your way slowly till you get to the base of this hall. The tower is like one huge stake sticking out of the ground, just one big pike that leads straight up. Looking at it now, you can see that not only is the light streaming out from the top, but it also seems like the entire thing seems to be connected with some electrical energy. Like there is a storm built into the tower itself as it's just sparking everywhere. There doesn't appear to be any doorway around the base of it. In fact, it just looks like one big tower. No entryways at all.
Allie, see if you can find us a way in.
So you want me to fly into the electrical field?
No, just see if you can find a door.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Wampum, maybe you and I can take a look around here and see if there is any shoddy brickwork that can maybe be blasted through.
That'd be a good idea.
Okay. Perception check from Ali. Investigation checks from Nos and Wampum.
If he's a dwarf, does he get some kind of perk
He
for
gets-
stonework?
If he has the stone cunning feature, then yes, he does.
24 for me.
Okay. I believe he has stone cunning.
Yes.
All right. So you roll with advantage.
Cancel that. Let's go with this. And do this and that and that. That's going to be a 16.
Okay. All right. Looking at the structure itself, a lot of the stonework is actually fairly weak. You could break through it. That's just an easy possibility. There is a spot where it does seem a little bit weaker than the rest, and you give it a good test, and you actually realize that that spot is actually an illusion of stone and isn't actually there. And Ali, as you're flying around, initially you don't see anything, but you will see just that shimmer of light as you spin around. A little spark of electricity shoots through the illusionary door that they find and then connects with the outer frame itself, indicating that this wall is fake right here.
That wall over there is fake.
Yeah, Allie, you did a good job finding it too.
Okay.
Great.
Do you all walk through it?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Stepping through, the air feels charged. Almost instantly, hair sticks up on end. Lafcardio's mane goes afro style, in my opinion. It's a very electrical space past here. You begin to make your way into this archway, and it opens out into a round, almost like a spherical room. You actually would walk down and then back up to get to the other archway that's on the other spot. Beyond it, though, you can see the crystal spinning in the air with electricity just shooting at it constantly through this small archway that's about 15 foot ahead of you. How do you want to proceed into this space?
Mr. Kale,
Mm-hmm.
we had the discussion of your former self that I should not break this. What be you thinking?
I think I'm gonna think about what spells I have prepared today. Give me a second. Augury work. I think I will ask somebody more reliable, and he will.
Oh, I'm really honored. I don't think that I have much greater insight than you, though, Kale. I'm not. I wouldn't call myself an expert to anything.
While they're talking, Allie's going to be looking to see if there's any guards, like the demon that was in the Feywild skulking about.
Roll a perception check.
That would be a 23.
It's hard to see from your angle, but you definitely hear footsteps. Almost like hooves hitting the ground.
Don't worry, it's just two people banging coconuts together.
Oh, great.
Oh, there's definitely
Tis a silly
someone
place.
here. Let's try and stay quiet.
Okay, yeah,
We're
you
not
got it.
alone.
So, I'm gonna get some like ink and parchment and stuff out of my pack while she's saying all that stuff.
Okay.
And as I'm about to ritual cast divination, I will tell Lafcadio, like, Lafcadio, you are as reliable as you are. I'm not looking for the type of reliability that you provide.
It didn't catch me off guard. I mean, what do I know?
Right, of course. So yeah, he'll get out that stuff, like scholarly stuff, and put it on top of his book and light a little bit of incense and cast divination.
Okay. So you get with divination one word, right?
Mm-hmm.
One
or no,
true
it's
answer. Yeah.
Yeah. So, truthful replies. Question:
Who should smash the crystal?
what would be the most prudent way to dispose of this crystal?
Most prudent?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sever its connection with its recipient before destroying it.
Thank you for adding that last part. Okay. So the answer is, I'll relay that answer to everybody. It's, we need to sever its connection to its recipient before we destroy it.
Who's the recipient?
So I take it its recipient be that horse that's walking around?
Yeah.
Horse?
It sounds like hooves.
There's a lot of behooved creatures that aren't necessarily horses.
Do you think that Ticklebottom fella has been following us this whole time?
I hope not. He would not enjoy it here, I think. Gosh, I don't want to just keep burning up spell slots. Well,
Kale, do you have any spells? If it's like that devil or demon that we fought in the Feywild, that you could get rid of them?
Nope. Not outright. We would need to kind of engage in combat with it a little bit.
But we couldn't send him back to his home plane?
I didn't really memorize that prayer this morning. I thought some other things were pretty.
While you guys are talking amongst yourselves, the hoof prints, the sound of the hooves hitting the ground gets a little bit louder as a creature walks in front of the crystal. This creature looking quite considerably like a centaur, if you were to completely demonize the centaur.
Neat.
Ooh.
Okay, that's gross. Okay.
Is he wielding any weapon of any sort?
Nope.
It's always a plus.
I take it that must be the connection.
Is there any? Does it look like there's any evidence that this guy's connected directly to the crystal?
None whatsoever. And if you remember what the Deva told you beforehand, the Deva mentioned that crystals have been placed on many planes in order to feed towards some other individual.
Okay.
So the recipient, you can make an educated guess that the recipient isn't here.
Right, they're probably in another plane somewhere completely other than here. Ooh. So you said this crystal just sitting in the middle of the room, and then you said like lightning
is kind of
sparking.
Floating, but from your vantage point, you have a very limited view of the space beyond because of how far away you are. But all you can see are just little sparks of lightning that shoot towards it every few seconds.
Sparks of lightning shoot toward it every few seconds.
Yes.
From
somewhere outside of your view. Okay. You guys are looking through just an archway space, and you see the bolts of lightning hitting it.
All right. We need to find out where that lightning is coming from.
Now we probably have to kill that demon thing, right?
Yeah, not if we can just sneak past it.
Sneakily destroy the crystal?
Well, sever its connection first, and then...
Well, at some point we have to confront the demon, right?
Right, but I suppose. But that doesn't necessarily mean we have to go in loud right this second.
All right. Got it.
Let me do a little bit more reconnaissance, and I'll place a hand on the book, and the eye will flare, and I'll cast Arcane Eye again.
Okay.
Best spell in the game. And yeah, I'll just head up, and I'll, confident in the eye's invisibility, I will go like right up into the middle of this room, like right above this demon thing.
Okay. That single demon is not alone. In fact, there are 4 other demon creatures with him. These ones look like demonic versions of satyrs, in my personal opinion. Think Pan's Labyrinth. Come on. There we go. As these demon creatures kind of perched off watching the space. In the center of the room, you have the crystal, and it's floating. There are 2 nodes, 2 circular nodes that look like electrodes, like domes, that seem to be charged, and every few seconds, the lightning shoots from that to the crystal. Those 2 electrically charged rods. They seem to be feeding, or electrifying, rather, this crystal.
Okay. And just looking at the map here, do these hallways exist, or is this just?
Yeah, they exist. They exist out
Okay.
of here. Roll a perception check.
Sure.
The space is well lit, by the way, as well. Everything just seems to be lit up like it's daytime.
Neato. That's good. So I rolled a 19 plus 4 is 23.
Okay. This crystal
Plus 6.
is a crystalline structure, as you can see. It's kind of spiraling and floating midair. Attached to it is another single gem. It seems to be a red ruby on a bracelet, and that is almost strapped to the crystal. And as you watch, you see the bolts of electricity hitting the crystal, and then the ruby flares ever so slightly for a second. And as the ruby flares, the crystal seems to dim just a little bit. Then the crystal builds up, another bolt, the crystal dims, the ruby ignites, and then it disappears again.
Got it. You said it's like dangling off of like a chain off the crystal?
So there is a chain around the crystal, and the ruby is attached to the crystal via that chain, like a choker almost.
Okay, and it's just like a regular normal chain?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so...
Almost certainly magical, though, but...
Right. So he'll whisper that information. He'll say, as he's still looking through the eye, he'll say, there's a small ruby attached to a chain around that crystal that I'm pretty sure is sending the power of the crystal somewhere else. So we need to get to that first once we get started here. But let me get a better lay of the land here before we jump in and go nuts.
Your arcane eye can go and explore the vast majority of this space. Mm-hmm. It is an interconnected network of corridors that work its way around, all of which seem to be built in honor of some form of deity dedicated towards storms. It almost seems like the building is built to specifically for a storm god.
Sounds about right, given that guy from before. Religion check, maybe?
Yep. Roll a religion check.
That's I don't have things, and I'm proficient in it, so 27.
Okay. Once again, the god of strength and storms that you remember having been told about, Talaras was a servant of Cord. The god of strength and storms.
Got it. Okay, and I'll whisper to everyone else, it looks like this is a temple built to worship the same god that Goliath gentleman worshipped. So maybe that's the main protagonist here. I don't know. It's leaning that way. Sure. That would be rough. But yeah, other than that, it's just the one main guy in the middle there, and then 4 helpers around the edge of the room.
Do you see any corridors where that big guy can't fit?
Do I? Could he not fit through these? Because, he does have a large token.
It's extremely tight to go down those. So a creature can squeeze down to one space smaller than themselves, but it creates difficult terrain for them. So their movement speed is halved if they have to squeeze through a space smaller than them.
Right. And it sounded like he was like patrolling around, because you said we heard clapping, and then he walked in, and then...
Yep.
So to answer Nas's question, yes. There's areas that it looks like it'd be difficult for him to get through.
So who's going for the receiver thing?
Well, if you think that pulling them down one of these corridors would be a good idea, I could try to run in and try to lead them away, if and then hope I can hold them off long enough.
Maybe. Do I have any idea what these creatures are? Like, do they ring any bells?
You can roll a religion check.
Sure.
Or a history, I would say. Either one would work.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do history.
Okay.
Have expertise in that. I rolled a 20, so 34.
Okay. You have heard of these creatures before. Specifically, the large fiend. He is a fiend. He is a demon. He is an Ammonite. Ammonite. If I remember rightly, found in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Sounds right.
Now, the Ammonites are incarnations of chaos and evil. Great herds of Ammonites race across the blasted fields of the abyss.
Okay. I mean, that sounds like standard demon stuff. What about the little boys?
The little fellows, these guys are Bulazaus. Bulazau, also from the same resource. These seem to be more of like an animalistic, very much a subservient kind of creature.
Okay. Other than being demons and probably being subject to the same sort of like resistances that demons usually have. Do they have any other combat-related capabilities that I would know about? Or any surprises that I could relay to the team?
The Ammonite, very much straightforward, very simple, just a powerful built individual. Mm-hmm. The Bulazaus, as best as you know, with these fellows, getting close to them has been documented to be very dangerous. I would say I can give you this simple tidbit. When any creature that isn't a demon starts its turn within a certain distance of one or more of these creatures, they must make a con save or take necrotic damage. You don't know what the distance is or how much damage it would deal, but you know staying within a certain distance of these tiny creatures is bad for your health.
And they're tiny? Like they're like
no, they're medium. They're medium.
Oh, okay.
And as Kale is doing his eye thing, I'm going to just stand there and watch the main guy. And I'm going to use Know Thy Enemy.
Okay. And what information are you getting from Know Thy Enemy?
So I can, if I spend 1 minute observing, I can learn information about its capabilities compared to my own. Strength score, dex score, con score, armor class, current HP, total class and levels, or fighter class levels.
Okay, so you don't get all of those. You get to choose a couple of them, I believe, if I remember rightly. Know Thine Enemy. The DM. So, starting at 7th level, if you spend at least 1 minute observing or interacting with another creature outside combat, you can learn certain information about its capabilities compared to your own. The DM tells you if the creature is your equal, superior, or inferior in regard to 2 of the following characteristics. Okay?
Okay.
So you pick 2, and I will tell you if you are equal, if he is your equal, superior, or inferior.
Let's go with armor class and current HP.
Okay. What is your armor class?
21.
Okay. He is your inferior.
Okay.
And what is your current hit points?
103.
He is your inferior.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to let Nos know that he's not as hard to hit as me. And he appears to be little weaker when it comes to Constitution as well.
I'm wondering, I don't want to leave the little guys for Lafcadio to handle. I'm wondering if maybe me and him should take care of those and bide time, try to navigate through the smaller spaces. Kite the big guy, so to speak. You know what a kite is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could disguise myself as Talaras and just walk in like I own the place and just take that red crystal. How do you think of that?
Out of character, I want you to do that. I would love for that to happen.
We should probably check for any traps beforehand.
So it hasn't been an hour yet, right? I still got the eye.
You've still got the eye.
Can I look around for traps?
Perception check through the eye.
Killing it with these rolls. 25.
Okay. It would appear as though all of the walls in here seem to be electrically charged. Touching a wall would be detrimental to your health.
Okay. Yeah, so the only thing I can see, Allie, is the walls. They'll hurt you. Don't touch them. Other than that, we should be fine. If you want to maybe...
How high is the pillar? Like the roof?
The main chamber is
that we're in.
Is a 50-foot tall chamber that has the crystal in it, but the room that you're in right now, the entry room, is only about 15 foot tall.
The hallways, the ones that look particularly narrow, are they particularly narrow, or are they?
They are 5-foot narrow corridors.
Okay.
Fairly tight in comparison to other spaces. So yes, you guys can walk through them without too much difficulty, and so can the little guys. But the big guy is going to really struggle, especially with those tight turns that have been added to the map.
Well, we could think about this all day, but at some point they're going to wise up to the fact that we're sitting out here talking all day.
I say we just get on with the fight.
All right.
Well, I like the idea of using the hallways to our advantages.
So
should I run in there and try to pull as many into a hallway as I can?
Let's do it at the same time and try to split the forces. I'll go left.
I'm gonna use a little bit of magic to get ahead, so I don't have to worry about running by them. Just so you know.
That's fine. As long as I can draw some of them away, then I'll have done my job.
Okay.
All right. Well, my plan when we start is I'm going to use Dimension Door and hop up over here and start doing it. That's my plan.
What's everyone else planning to do?
Allie, I'm going to sneakily go in and get crossbow range on either the crystal or whoever goes to follow you, and I'll try to hit them in the back.
Oh, if we could, actually, Allie, if...
I feel like you're about to ask me to do something really dangerous, Kale.
It might be best if you initiated combat. From what I could tell, it seems like you might have something of an edge if you did that.
If she's the only visible person out there, I don't.
Well, my suggestion is that she gets into crossbow range and gets set, and then everybody else gets ready with whatever actions they want to take, and then she fires the first shot to initiate things, because these are demons. I don't think they're going to be...
And once I fire my first shot, I'll fire a second one at a different person, then I'll slip around the corner and I'll try and hide again. Perfect. And as those idiots are chasing me, they won't know where I am, and you guys beat them down.
Yes. Yeah, I think it would be good if she were to initiate combat. Get that first hit in.
Okay.
Surprisingly, we might say.
Okay. Then if you guys want to surprise them, you need to all roll stealth.
Who's
I'd like
really
to-
shitty at stealth?
Wampum.
Yeah.
Guidance you, Wampum.
Okay.
So add a D4.
21.
Great. 11.
26.
Okay.
10.
Wampum actually has a 17, even with disadvantage.
Wow.
Good job, Wampum.
I'm
Good
proud.
job. All right. So, with everyone's stealth checks in mind, go ahead and start doing what you guys would be doing. And as soon as the first action or attack is declared, initiative will be rolled. So, who's doing what?
I will be moving up to here on the first, would be the first round.
Okay. We're
And
not in
then-
initiative yet.
Right. But I just want to be able to have them see where they're going.
So, Allie, you
Mhm.
are stealthing, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
When I see, or when I hear Allie take that shot, I will dimension door up to where I said I was going to dimension door.
Okay. Allie,
Yeah.
what was your stealth check?
It was a 26.
26. All right. So you need to remember to really focus on line of sight. You can't be like,
Okay.
even with a 26. If you stood out in the open, you're going to be seen.
Right.
So using the walls that you can see on the map around
Yep.
you, using the shadows, the directions that you're facing, how are you getting past this point? You're going to have to cross out into the
So,
open ground.
Once I've gotten to this point,
Mhm.
let's see, I'm 40 feet away. Oops.
Mhm.
From the guy, just about.
It's 35. And he's been patrolling, correct?
He's been patrolling. So are you going to wait for him to kind of move to another position?
Yeah. I'm not going to immediately shoot him when he's facing towards me.
All right. Then staying hidden below, because right now in front of you, you've got a little raised platform.
Yep.
That's a couple steps up. It's not high. It's only about 3 foot high. But you duck down underneath it. You wait in the cover of shadows. And he moves to his first waypoint, which is over on the other side.
Okay.
Where are you going?
And are any of the goats moving, or are they all?
From your
Staying
line of
where they are.
sight.
Oh
all
yeah,
of
I
the
can't
goats
see them.
stay where they are.
Okay. I will move up to here, going around.
Okay.
And I will take. Can I see the? If I peek around the corner at this point, am I able to see that goat, or is that pillar blocking?
You can see him. You can see him.
Okay. And is he facing me, or is he currently facing?
Right now, he's just looking around the space.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Where are you going?
would I be able to get to that behind this pillar that's facing me without being noticed?
If you would like to do that and give it a try and see what happens, you can do so.
Okay. I would like
Okay.
to use inspiration on my stealth check if I'm gonna have to roll.
You don't need to roll another
Okay.
stealth check. Just remembering line of sight.
Okay.
Remember that. So what you've got here, there's a pillar here,
Yep.
a thin pillar here. These are thin pillars. They don't like block much.
Okay. So I'm just gonna stay where I am, and I will fire my crossbow at the goat on the right.
Okay. So you're gonna make your action from this point. Okay.
Yeah.
So Anyone else moving from that space before Ali takes her shot?
When she does, though, yes.
Okay. In which case, now we're going to roll initiative. Because everyone stayed back, these guys are all considered surprised.
$21 for my initiative.
So 21 for Ali. Okay. I've got. What else have we got for initiative? Wampum?
17 for Wampum.
17. Lafcadio, 14, right? Ali, Kale.
11.
11. Okay. Right. Now I will roll initiative for all of the bad guys. So the Ammonite first. That is a 12. So that's good. Means he'll be surprised for a while. Okay. So as you raise your shot to pull off the shot, one of the creatures does see you. The one from the far left ends its turn, can't do any actions, but it is no longer considered surprised. It is now your turn, Ali. What are you doing?
I am firing the crossbow at the goat on the right.
Okay, you start your turn within 30 feet of him. I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
All right. 15.
15. Okay. No problem.
And
What
do
are
I
you
have
gonna do?
advantage firing the hand crossbow?
You were hidden at the start of your turn, so yes, you have advantage.
Perfect. Natural 20.
Oh my god.
Just, can you guys see that? All right.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's roll the damages.
Assassin stuff.
Yeah, woo! All right, so 1d6 plus 4 for... That would be a 5, and then my 5d6, which would be 10, 13, 17, 18 damage. So,
And that was all doubled, correct?
Yeah, you
That's all
roll
that-
your dice twice. You
And
just rolled
that's-
5d6?
yeah, it's 5d6.
Well, you'd roll 10, right? Because
Oh, yeah. And then 7, 10, 16, 17 damage.
And roll the very first attack, the
okay.
1d6.
Oh, that would be a 6 total with my plus 4.
Okay. So what's the total amount of damage that you deal to this guy?
I hope someone was counting. That was a 5, 16, I believe, and I'm just going to say it's a 14. I'll underscore it.
5, 16, and a 14.
And then
No,
six.
one of them was a 17.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So 5, 16, and 14. All
And
right.
then I'm going to shoot him again.
All right.
Crossbow feet.
Go ahead and
And
fire.
since if I hit, he's no longer surprised, correct? Or is he still surprised because I'm shooting like boom?
A creature is surprised until the end of that turn.
Oh, sweet. So advantage on this attack again.
You don't get advantage on the second attack, though.
Okay.
well,
Surprised is just a condition.
assassinate
Applied on-
gives them advantage on attacks against any creature that hasn't taken a turn in combat yet.
Yep.
Is Ali an assassin or a thief?
She's an assassin.
Okay, then it doesn't matter about the crit. Any hit counts as a crit.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
So you have advantage on the attack anyway.
26.
Hits.
All right, and that's an automatic crit as well.
Yep.
All right, I will count this time, I promise.
All right.
Cross my heart.
It's just 2 dice this time.
Okay. 5 plus 4, so 9.
All right.
9.
9. Okay. That's going to hit. That's going to absolutely destroy the creature.
Yes. And
Hey,
then
welcome, Torn Pixie. Thanks for the raid.
welcome. And then I am going to go 10 feet backwards and use my cunning action to attempt to hide.
All right.
I haven't seen it.
I don't think you have a cunning action because you used your bonus action to fire twice.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So.
You're right? Yep. All right, I'm good.
Were you? Oh, because you didn't move. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we now have one of the Bulazows. It is no longer surprised. That is the end of its turn. Nos.
I heard the shot, so I am going to dash.
Okay.
And
Charging through this electrically charged space, you feel yourself boosted with energy. What are you going to do?
I am going to get here, I think.
Okay, completely dashing?
Yeah.
That's your intent?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We have now one more, no longer considered surprised. And then Wampum.
Wampum will, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And let's see, how close?
Kill him. Hit him with your hammer.
So in front of you, you have these 2 walls that will completely block your line of sight. You're not going to be able to see outside of this space.
Okay. Is that small red crystal a target?
It is if you want to try and shoot it, but it's a really difficult target. It's really tiny.
It's still in range. I will go ahead and try it.
Okay, go ahead and throw.
I'm sure this will go fine.
It's not like you were warned against hitting the crystal before.
Like Wampum specifically, not crystal.
All right, Wampum, you throw. It's at such a great distance. That's at disadvantage, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, is the 20 at disadvantage, or is that just the one?
Let me do that again because I rolled standard.
Okay.
So yes, the 20 is at disadvantage.
All right. So your huge, heavy hammer that flies towards this thing. You're looking for a tiny target on a big thing. You end up hitting the crystal, not the ruby.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll the damage.
And thrown damage. That is a 19.
Okay. 19. Cracks begin to appear in the crystal. Sparks of electricity shoot out of it momentarily. Anything else from your wampum?
I'm going to throw at it again.
All right.
Can I talk? Not on my turn?
Of course you can. Of course you can. But
Stop
you
doing
that.
What?
So again, with disadvantage as you throw the hammer towards the crystal.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
So disadvantage being 19.
Okay, that's going to hit, but it's going to hit the crystal. Go ahead and roll the damage.
12 points of damage.
Okay. The hammer hits. You deal 12 points of bludgeoning damage, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Pieces of the crystal begin to fracture, and it explodes, with the ruby still glowing ever so slightly. Wampum, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw as all of that energy, the lightning strike, then pours straight towards you.
Okay. Uh, 28
How on earth do you have a 28?
plus 9 on a 19
Why do you have advantage on this con save?
because one of my primary abilities is Constitution. So strength and Constitution, you have advantage on the rolls.
No, you don't. You don't.
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. If you can very quickly explain to me where the rule is that says that, I'll agree with you. But I'm absolutely certain that what you actually have is proficiency in strength and constitution as a fighter.
Right, and with proficiency, you have advantage.
No, that's not the case. You get to add your proficiency bonus whenever you make saving throws of that particular type. Okay. So I need you to roll it again, not with advantage.
Gotcha. That's an 18.
18. Okay. As the lightning strikes you, the energy that had been fed off of the Shadowfell is immediately released, connects with you. You drop to 0 hit points.
All right. Since I have shield mastery, can I use the shield mastery to block that lightning with my shield?
Shield mastery is only when you get to make a dexterity saving throw, not a con. This is the very power of the Shadowfell. So, briefly explain, this crystal and all of the other crystals are feeding off of these planes. They're pulling this energy out, and then they're feeding it to some other source. You were warned not to destroy the crystal before destroying the device that feeds it out. As a result, when the crystal was shattered, it needed to go somewhere. The energy needed to go out, and it connected with you.
Okay.
All of the power of the Shadowfell entered your person, and you dropped to 0 hit points.
Maybe.
Gotcha.
Or you still got Indomitable, maybe? You could reroll that save a little bit?
True, I could use the Indomitable.
If that was a failure, I don't know. Maybe that was a success, and on a success you dropped to 0 hit points.
That was a failure.
Okay. If you want,
you
I mean,
use your Indomitable.
I will use my Indomitable.
Okay, go ahead and re-roll that save.
That's a 25.
Okay, that's a success. You don't drop to 0 hit points. All right. Anything else from you, Wampum?
That is it.
Okay. Lafcadio.
We destroyed the crystal. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, great. Why am I even here?
All right, I will, as I said, I will dimension door over into that corridor. Then, boop, over there.
Okay.
And I will shout at this fella. I say, "Hey, you look like some edgy satyr." And I go, and I will run my 30 feet and end there.
Okay. It turns around, looks at you, snarls its dirty teeth. You can see saliva just going everywhere. It is going to come chasing after you when it gets the opportunity. All right, the Armor Knight, the creature that was defending everything, is going to end its turn a little bit sad and dejected, no longer surprised. Kale, what are you going to do?
Protecting everything.
Including us.
He's gonna curse in Sylvan, and then run up and touch Wampum on the shoulder, and cast Protection from Evil and Good on him.
Okay.
And not say anything to him, and then just like go away.
All right. And then the last creature, that one was dead. All right, so we back up to the top of the round. We have a creature that's going to chase after Nos, which is exactly what Nos wanted. So it's going to run up to here. This little Bulazar. Yep.
Pole arm. Boop.
Okay. Give it a poke.
Poke is a 20.
That is a powerful poke.
Is 10 points poking.
All right. It takes that 10 points of poking. Anything? Well, that was your reaction to do that. So now, as it gets hit by your glaive, it's going to kind of bounce back, spin in the air, and just whip at you with its tail. That is a natural 20.
Okay.
So you will
right in the
take
jaw.
19 points of piercing damage. And I need you to roll it from its tail. And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Was that bludgeoning or anything?
It was piercing.
It was piercing.
Yeah.
Is it like, does its tail have like spikes on it or something?
It's a barbed tail. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was like, if it didn't, I was picturing a rat tail that just like stabbed.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm sorry. How much damage was that total?
19 points of piercing damage in total. Are you raging?
Oh no, I'm not raging. That's
Oh
why.
yeah.
You're not raging.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Because you dashed last time.
Yes,
so you're not raging.
that's completely correct. I apologize.
So you take the full 19.
Yep.
And roll the Constitution save. Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, did you? I thought you did say bonus action because
no, I got a dash with the bonus action.
You can bonus action dash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No.
Wait, no.
That's your rogue.
That's your action.
Full action. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So.
Yep. No, I just forgot. Because my other character's a rogue, and I get that confused.
All right. So you manage to hold your Constitution together as it weeps at you, but that's the end of that creature's turn. Ali, what are you going to do?
That's me. I will run into this corridor.
Okay.
5,
So
10,
running
15, 20,
around.
25, 30. And I will do cunning action to try and hide behind that wall. Actually, I'm going to use the dash, and then I'll cunning action. Does that work?
So you were stood here. You took 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet takes you there.
Oh, perfect. Then I don't need to dash. I will just use my cunning action to hide, and I will draw my dagger.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. We do have a Bulazar that is going to charge towards the center. Its movement is 40 foot, so it'll move to there, and then dash around the corner to here. End its turn, turning around, seeing Ali, but it doesn't get to use its action against her.
So I don't get an opportunity attack when it passes through, right?
Nope, because it stays within your melee. As soon as it turns around the corner and can see you, it stops.
Okay.
And just to be clear, this thing it didn't leap on the back of the centaur demon to hitch a ride.
Absolutely clear. It
I
didn't.
feel like that's a missed opportunity, but that's fine.
Nos.
Just for curiosity's sake, is the entire building still sparking?
Walls are still electrified. But now, they don't have a place to go.
Oh, fun. Okay, and I'm holding a glaive. Great. Okay, so now we'll rage.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to kill this guy in one turn. See if I can do it. It's a 12.
12 is not going to hit.
Okay, that's fine. I got another one. 18.
18 will hit.
Great. That's 16 slashing. Then
16 will hurt it.
action surge.
Okay.
And again with a 28.
All right.
That's 13 slashing.
That'll hit. That'll hurt.
And one more. 21 for 14 slashing.
Okay. And that will finish off
Oh,
the now
okay.
with that last 14. Why? What? Ooh,
I've got
what?
Divine Fury as well. But
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Killed it.
Yeah, you killed it. All right. Anything else from you?
Yeah, I'll move. Where do I get? Let's see.
Yeah.
I'll get to about the middle of the room here. I don't know where anything is right now, so.
Good. After your turn, lightning begins to just spark everywhere. Everyone currently within 5 feet of a wall, which means it does not include the big Armonite. It does not include Nos, Wampum. It does include one of the Bulazaus, 2 of them actually, and Ali, Kale, and Lafcadio need to roll dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
I got those 3 on there. 16 as well.
22.
Golly.
Okay. So
That was like a dex save. Ooh.
all of you succeed, so all of you only take half damage, and you take 15 points of lightning damage.
And then I have the evasion feat, so I take no damage.
Okay. All right. And we have Bulazao that's going to chase after Lafcadio. And that's exactly what it's going to do with a 40.
And did they get zapped?
They did. I'm just not going to tell you what they took because you wouldn't know. All right. But what you would be able to see is these creatures are resistant to lightning damage, at least. Okay. Being in a lightning temple
Makes
seems
sense.
makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
So running up to you, Lafcadio, seeing you in that position, turns around, leaps up. This one actually does a somersault in the air and whips you with its tail as it comes down to hit you. That is a 19 to hit.
Hits.
As the barbs in its tail whip at you, you'll take 12 points of piercing damage.
Got
and
it.
I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
15.
Okay, so you're safe. No ill effects there. All right. Wampum. I need you to roll a Constitution save at the start of your turn.
Okay.
You start your turn within 30 feet of a Bulazao.
That's a 26.
Okay, you're fine. What would you like to do, Wampum?
Let's see. Let's get back to this. Uh, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, I'm going to throw at the big guy with disadvantage.
Okay.
And it's going to be a 20 to hit.
And that will hit.
And it's 16 points of damage.
All right.
And my second attack. That one, forget that one. And I'm going to action surge.
Okay.
Oops, I meant to do that.
These attacks just flying just over Nos's head.
Yes. And it's going to be a 20 to hit.
Okay. All right, that'll hit.
And I am going to... Is he carrying any form of weapon?
Nope. He's just a big centaur. But
right.
Demonic.
I'm going to try my menacing attack. I don't think it'll work, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Okay.
So that is 14 points of damage.
All right.
And
he succeeds the wisdom save.
All right. So he's not frightened, but he does take 2 more points of damage for a total of 16.
Okay.
And then the second attack is a 19 to hit.
Yeah.
That'll hit.
Yeah.
And that's going to be 17 points of damage, and I'm going to use a distracting strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's going to take an additional 5 points of damage, and the next person who hits him has advantage.
Okay. Anything else from you?
That's it.
All right, Lafcadio, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw as you start your turn close to the Bulazao.
That is 26.
That's a success. All right, what are you going to do?
Well, I don't like being by these walls. And I don't like being by that goat guy. So I'll take one more thing at him, and I will dimension door back to the middle of the hallway, or the middle of the chamber.
Okay.
And see you later, sucker! And I will be there in my full majesty. It's like, here I am.
Okay. The Ammonite is going to move over, pick up the ruby, and whilst holding the ruby, it is going to approach Nos.
I poke it.
Okay, go ahead and poke it.
And is this the one that gets advantage?
Yes.
Okay.
You have advantage on this.
Good. 17.
17 hits. Go ahead and roll the damage.
18.
Okay. Right. Then, holding the ruby firm in its excuse me, firm in its hand, it is going to reach up, and you'll see a line of lightning just begin to appear in its hand as it creates a lance made out of a pure bolt, and it's just going to strike it straight forward. It's going to arc through 60-foot line through Nos and Lafcadio. I need both of you to make dexterity saving throws. It is 10 foot wide, so Wampum will also get affected by this. Now, Wampum, because this is a dexterity saving throw, you can use your shield mastery.
Okay.
Is this something that can be likened to the spell Lightning Bolt? I.e., can I use my danger sense on it?
Your danger sense says that whenever you can make a saving throw from an attack that you can see, correct? So it works in exactly that way. You can see the lightning coming. You can roll the dexterity saving throw, so danger sense does give you advantage.
Just checking, because lightning lance.
Yeah.
Who saw that coming?
Huh. That's
Not
a
it.
fire.
7 on the deck save.
20.
Okay. So, Wampum, did you use your shield mastery?
Yes.
To gain advantage. Okay. Cool. So, what was the result?
22.
22. Okay. Okay. Then, as you guys roll, Lafcadio is the only one that fails. The rest of you succeed. So, Lafcadio, you take a full shot from the lightning lance.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a whopping 40 points of lightning damage. It just arcs straight through towards you.
Tight.
Wampum and Nos, you both take half damage at 20 points of lightning.
Out of the frying pan, into the arc of lightning.
Okay. Kale.
How that goes. Man, I just got all these support spells. After having the lightning jump off the wall and hit him, he's gonna, move away from walls. I'm gonna guess he probably didn't see that lightning happen, so he's gonna run past Lafcadio, kind of get in the middle here. Lafcadio, you look fine. You'll be fine. He's not there, so he can't respond. I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna bang on my shield. Toll the dead. This guy. Wisdom save.
That is a 9 on his wisdom save.
He failed. I get to roll 2d12s. Hooray! What does a d12 even look like? I never rolled these.
It's the one with 12 sides on it.
Thank you.
Just letting you know.
I got an 8.
Okay.
Could you
From
run
2d12s?
Plus 5 because I have that thing. So you seem like you're good with numbers. You can figure it out.
So 8 plus 5?
Yeah.
Okay. Tolling the dead with that little bell that you ring. How do you want to kill him?
He runs out and just sees this thing and just beats on his shield, and then that thing hears a bell. And I always like to imagine it as the target's the only one who hears it.
Okay.
So he just kind of looks up and looks around, and he looks confused for a second, and then as terrified as a demon can look is how he looked. I don't know how that would work. And then his flesh just starts to rot and just fall off like big chunks of flesh, looking like it was bit by a black widow. That nasty color that just all falls off in chunks, and he just dies from that.
Okay.
Should I describe that in more detail?
That sounds fine. That sounds good. Anything else from you?
Nope.
Okay. Not Nos, sorry, Ali.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm assuming I have to take a Constitution save.
Constitution save.
All right. That'd be a 7.
All right. So you take some damage. A whopping 2 points of necrotic damage.
Ah. All right. I
What are
will
you gonna do?
ship him in the kidney.
Go on.
That would be a 22.
That's gonna hit.
All right. That does 1d4 plus 5. 9 damage.
All right. Anything else?
Then I am going to use my cunning action. Instead of using my crossbow for a second shot, I will disengage, and I'm going to run away.
Okay.
So I will go 5. And then 20. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do.
Okay. Well, it's his turn. So he is going to run up and taking that position as he runs, jumps up to also make a somersaulting whip attack with his barbed tail. He's going to attack Nos. That is an 18 to hit you.
Does not hit.
Okay, and that will miss. Nos, what would you like to do?
I think I roll a con save.
Yes, you do. Con save for being within range of him.
13.
You're fine.
Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to lay the smack down on him. Are you ready? Guess not. 13.
Are you ready?
Doesn't seem like it. I'm still a little bit stunned.
Mm-hmm. That misses.
Okay. How about a 19?
A 19 will hit him, you know?
Great. That's 16 slashing.
Okay, that hurts him.
Great. We're going to come back around too with the haft. That'll be
Okay.
27.
27 will hit.
And that's 11 slashing.
There we go. Anything else from you?
Grr. That's it.
Okay. Are any of you within 5 feet of a wall?
Divine Fury. Almost forgot.
Okay.
That's 8 radiant on top.
Okay. Looks like the only thing within 5 feet of a wall is one of the Bulazaurs. Okay. Cool. And then it's his turn next. So he is going to dash, which is full 80 foot of movement. And he'll go there instead. Wampum, what would you like to do?
I just took my turn so I can take a reaction now and I can poke that guy.
Yes, you can.
I imagine that Bulazar's got to be pretty, like, pissed off. Because, like, Lafcadio just, appeared in front of him, and then he chases him down a hall, and Lafcadio just disappears again.
Yep. That will hit him, and that will hurt.
Cool.
All right. Wampum, you now start your turn within range of 2 of these creatures. I need you to roll Constitution saving throw.
Constitution save. That is a nat 1.
Okay. You will take damage because you are within 30 feet of 2 of them. As if you were around 2. That is 7 points of necrotic damage.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Plus. Yeah. I'm going to read it that way.
Okay.
You take 1d6 necrotic damage plus 1 necrotic damage for each Bulazar within 30 feet. So I'm going to read it as if that's plus 2, not 2d6 plus 1. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay. What are you going to do?
And now I'm going to attack the one that's straight in front of me.
Okay. Go ahead and strike at it.
One right there. And that's a 14 to hit. But
That'll hit.
Hold on. Huh?
Oh, okay. Hold on. All right. Go ahead.
How many dice I got left? Hold on.
All right.
1, 2. I'm going to save the die.
Okay.
Okay. A 14 hits.
Okay. 4. 7 points of damage.
Okay.
And the second attack is a 26 to hit.
That's going to hit.
4. Dang. Another 7 points of damage, but I'm going to use Distracting Strike.
Okay.
For another D8.
Okay.
For additional 7 points of damage on top of that.
All right. He is so distracted. He forgets to wake up as he is knocked to the ground and flattened. Anything else from you, Wampum?
That's it.
All right. We are left with Lafcadio. Are you within? You are. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
18.
Okay, you're fine. What would you like to do, Lafcadio?
All right, I will see that Nos is squared up with the big fella, and I'll use some healing. And I'll say, Nos! Feel better, mate! And heal her for 12 hit points as a bonus action. With my action, I will clasp my Rod of the Pact Keeper to grab a spell slot back. Okay. And then, seeing that I'm in direct line with the lightning arcy guy, I will take a few steps to the side to break that line of sight.
I think the lightning arcy guy died. Right?
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I think Kale melted him.
I missed it. Well done.
Oh, that's right. You were not there for that.
Yeah, stay away.
And he doesn't have an X for his thing, so
yeah,
understandable.
So there's a flare of red light, and the melted Armonite guy stands back up. He's really annoyed, really, really angry. So he is going to. Let's see if his lightning recharges. It does not. So instead, he's going to make 3 attacks. 1 with its hooves and 2 with its claws. Wait, no, sorry. 1 with its hooves, 1 with its claws, 1 with its serrated tail. All of them at Nos.
Just like, that's like the whole body.
So the first hoof, front legs come whacking down on top of you. That is a 21 to hit.
Yeah.
Okay, that is 11 points of bludgeoning. You are raging, so it's halved down to 5.
Okay.
He then rakes at you with his claws.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 22 to hit.
Yep.
For 10 slashing, halved down to 5.
You got it.
All right, and then his last attack as he spins around, whipping with his tail. That is an 18 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay. And that will end his turn. Kale, what would you like to do?
I'd like to have that guy be dead. I'm gonna toll the dead again. This time I really mean it. I'll take the Diva Mace and I'll bang that on my shield instead of my knuckles.
All right. He needs to roll a wisdom save, which is a 19.
Son of a bitch. So nothing happens to him.
Oh, that's a shame.
And then I can bonus action Sanctuary still, right?
Yep.
I'm going to do that then.
All right. So you cast your Sanctuary, protect yourself, protect number 1.
And I'll shout, get the ruby, like we talked about before this whole thing started.
Little busy.
Ali. Con
Yeah.
save.
All right. My con save is at 11.
All right. You will take 3 points of necrotic damage.
Oh, did I have to do a con save? I didn't do a con save.
You weren't within range, I don't think. Oh, wait, you were. I forgot. Forget about it. I forgot.
I rolled a 8.
Okay.
So, okay, yeah, no, nothing.
Yeah. Ali.
All right. I'm going to sprint up behind this Boogaloo, and I'm going to introduce him to the pointy end of my dagger. And he is flanked.
Yes, he is.
All right. That would be a 16.
That would hit.
All right. Doing 1d4 plus 5. That's 7 damage, and then sneak attack damage. 10, 14, 18, 19.
19, so 26 in total.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else from you?
That'll shoot him with a crossbow.
Okay.
That would be a plus 8, so 19.
Okay. That'll hit.
5 damage.
That. No, not quite. Almost.
No, no.
10 minutes. All right. He falls under
All
that
right.
spell attack.
And then I'm going to move 5, 10, 15 for the remainder of my movement to get out of that lightning line.
Okay. You will take a... Oh, actually, no. So you were there. Okay, so never mind. So, that all of the Bulazaus are now dead by the looks of it. Nos?
I scrape my glaive against his face.
Just lightly scraping it?
Not lightly.
No?
I'm not giving
Okay.
him a shave.
All right. It looks like he might be, though.
13.
That's going to miss.
Okay, that's fine. Keep going. Oh my goodness, 12. I'm getting winded.
Yeah. It'll also miss.
All right, half attack. Oh, 14.
You just can't quite,
Yeah,
it's
I know.
all right. Then looks like no one is within range of any sort of ill effects, so you're good there. Wampum.
All right, I am focusing my attack on that gem that he's carrying.
Okay.
And I'm going to hit with a 29.
That'll
He
hit
has
him.
to make a DC 17 strength save, or I'm going to knock the gem out of his hand.
Okay, that's an 18 that he rolls.
Okay. So he's going to take 17 plus 2 more, so 19 points of damage.
Okay.
And then this next attack is a 16 to hit.
16 will hit him.
And I needed to make another DC 17 strength save.
All right. That's a 24.
Okay. So he's going to take another 18 points of damage.
All right. Anything else from you, Wampum?
And I'm going to move to there, and I'm done.
Okay. Life cardio.
I will run up to him and try to take the gem out of his hand, the ruby out of his hand.
Okay. Roll a athletics check.
10.
He swats your hand out of the way. That failed. Anything else from you?
I hadn't accounted for this. I'll use bonus action to heal myself. And
Okay.
I will end my turn.
All right. All right. Then on his turn, starting his turn, 3 attacks, but these are going to go to life cardio. So the first attack will be a hoof attack. Just kind of. That's a 22 to hit.
Hits!
All right, for 12 points of bludgeoning damage.
Got it! Love it!
Okay. Second attack will be claws. That's a 22 to hit again.
Hits!
All right, for 11 points of slashing damage.
So good.
All right, and then whipping around, slashing that tail across you. That's a 25 to hit.
Hits!
For 16 slashing damage.
Unconscious.
Why did you do that?
Because I can.
Not you, him. You be quiet. You fight me.
All right. Kale. What would you
Kale
like to do?
shouts. It sounds like one word because it's in Sylvan, but it's roughly translated. It's 2 words. It's get up, and you cast Healing Word on Lafcadio for 9 health.
All right.
And then takes the dodge action. That's it.
Healing word for the bonus action, did you say?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right, then Ali.
That's me. I'm going to go 5, 10, and give him the good old 1-2. Right,
Right.
aimed at the gem.
You're aiming specifically at the gem that's in his hand.
Well, I'm going to aim at his hand at least so that it
Okay.
falls.
All right, go ahead and
All
attack
right.
him.
dagger is a 17 plus 9, so that's a 26.
That's a hit.
And that's a sneak attack too, right?
Yes, it is.
So that's 2 plus 7, so 7, and then 8, 9, 14, 20, 26 damage.
26 plus the 7?
Yeah. No,
Okay,
that's included.
so
The 7's included.
That's including. Okay,
Yeah.
so 26. Okay, he's now heavily wounded. Anything else from you?
I will... I already shot the crossbow and I haven't reloaded it, correct? Even with the because I have the dagger out. I will reload the crossbow.
Okay. So as part of the dagger attack, you put the dagger away, you reload the crossbow. You can fire with it, though.
Okay, so I'll fire again.
Okay.
And that's a 13 plus 8. So that's 21
Okay. That'll hit.
for 6 damage.
Okay.
And
Anything
I'll...
else?
Yeah, I'm gonna yell in Infernal at him.
Okay.
And
Nice.
So I haven't been able to make an attack since my last turn. I haven't taken any damage, so my rage ends.
You attacked. You don't have to hit, you just have to have attacked.
But it says since, so that's including. Okay, is that yes?
So
Okay.
your rage ends at the end of your turn if you have not attacked or taken damage since your last turn.
Okay.
Okay. So as long as you make an attack in this turn, you should be fine.
All right. Finally, 21.
That'll hit.
That's 12 points of slashing in addition to 8 radiant.
Okay. Now grazing him with the glaive. How do you want to kill him? Again.
Oh, can I split him down the middle from like right between his horns to make him symmetrical? But his body is so hard that I have trouble getting it down past the chest, so it just splits him up the top.
Okay.
And then with my other attack, I'd like to hockey puck that ruby between my legs back towards Kale.
Okay. You do. All right. That thing is destroyed. Kale, the ruby flies towards your feet. What do you do? Are you going to pick it up?
Go to stop it with the angelic mace that I have.
Okay.
Do you need to like roll something for that? I don't know.
No, it's fine. You stopped it.
It stops. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
What are you doing? You going to pick it up?
God, you keep asking that and making me not want to do it. I'll identify it. I'll just cast it with a... It still takes a minute, even if I don't ritual cast it. Shoot.
And it still requires you to touch it.
Don't want to touch it.
Can you touch it with a long stick?
So I've wondered
right.
about these centaurs. This one looks particularly evil. Where do you think their heart is? Do you think it's in the chest of the human part, or in the chest of the horse part?
First, is there still lightning everywhere in here?
Still sparking.
Hey, let's get
So
out and talk
as
about this.
As long as you stay away from the walls, you should be fine.
But if we leave, we won't be able to find out who's right.
About what?
Allie's gonna...
Hot placement.
Oh, yeah, that is interesting. As she's talking to this, she's gonna start, like, cutting off parts of the spines from the tails of the boogly-doos.
Kale, do you want me to pick it up?
No, I want you to shut up and stay put and not do something stupid for once in your goddamn life.
Whoa!
Well, do you think they have poison in their tails or in the spikes? Or no poison at all?
And we'll pick that up in 2 weeks' time. Just to alert everyone, we won't be here next week to be able to hold a session. Few of us are on vacation, all sorts of things. So we will not have a session next week, but we will rejoin the adventure at this spot with the ruby at Kale's feet and him having just shouted at Wampum in 2 weeks. Thanks very much, guys. Good night.